is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
You know, I tell you guys all the time about Cutter's Edge Pro, man, and what they did with our backyard and made it a pure oasis. That's our Sylvester tree right there. A beautiful day, providing a ton of sunshine. We've got one exactly like this out in the front yard, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There's Bono hanging around on the artificial turf. What's up, Bono? What's the word, baby? There you go, wagging that little tail. Maiden, there she is. Ziggy. How you doing, Ziggy? There you go. So we got the doggies hanging out. So just want to give you a little, we got some of the trees starting off from this way with the artificial turf. You see, there's Ziggy again, of course. Got it all the way. And look, we got some flowers coming out. That tree now will start to also spring, and it's absolutely beautiful too. So got all that. They can do all kinds of things for you in your backyard to kind of make it an oasis, which is what we've done. And obviously the dogs can play. What's up, Bono? I got him there hanging out. Maiden, there she is. There she is, the one and only. She's mean as a skunk, by the way. Just want you to know. She's awesome with us, but I mean, if you're a stranger, you don't want to meet mated. So as you can see, and then the artificial turf, remember, there's no watering. There's no cutting the grass. It looks fabulous like this the entire time. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. Back here in this corner is where we put the barbecue. I wheel it out, cook, then I wheel it back in. See, looks beautiful, doesn't it? Flowers are coming out. It's awesome. And then when I want to play a little golf, there's my putting green down the side, which is a beautiful thing. There's one of the holes all the way to the other side where Bono is at. All lights up. It's really beautiful when it lights up. See, we got the rough. Got several. Got one on that side. Got one over there in the corner. When Bono's leaving, got rough all over the place, man. Just in case, you get the ball trapped in there. That's it. That's another swing. Right, Maiden? So, Check it out, cuttersedgepro.com. Make your home an oasis. Make your business, your HOA complex, condominium, you name it, they got you, bro. They do it all. All right? Then cut your trees down, and the artificial turf, I swear by it. Really easy to maintain, and it looks just absolutely freaking beautiful. Cutter's Edge Pro. Right, Ziggy?
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, boys and girls. Oh, man, how you feeling on this Monday, right? I mean, this is one of those Mondays where you don't get a lot of these kind of feelings in sports. And, man, what the Heat are doing is I there's no words to say it. There just is no words to say what the Heat are in the middle of. They are in the middle of the most surprising season in maybe the history of South Florida sports outside of the 83 Canes. It is just absolutely sick to be on this ride. We are very fortunate to be on this ride, and very fortunate to have a guy like Eric Spoelstra running the show, man, because that dude is special, man. Alan Poupart will be joining us today at 11 a.m. Marcel Louis Jacques will stop by at noon. So we'll have a little fun with those guys. Last night, we did our post-game show. So if you didn't have a chance to catch it, you can catch it there on YouTube, please. And don't forget to hit the like button. You know what? Do Sean and myself and all of the insiders a huge favor. Go crazy. Go all over the channel and find other videos and hit the like button. Hit the like button on any of them, just for the heck of it. Go into 3, 4, 5, 8 videos and hit the like button for us. You know, that's go on a like button marathon today. You know, hit a few for us. Not just this one, but others, you know, just what the hell? Even if you didn't sit there to watch it for very long, but just hit it, get the damn algorithms going out there and spread it out so more people can stop by and join us. And we'll be on again tonight after the Panthers game. I'm really enjoying these finals, but, you know, the throat is not going to end up enjoying the finals by the time it's done. And, you know, it's kind of like we've been on track. We've been fine. Let me get my super sauce already going for the engine. So, but, yeah. So we're here for you every single night of the playoffs and the finals. So we are here, Panthers. We are here for your Heat post-game show. We got it all for you folks. So make sure you tune in. Yes. August will be in Canton. So that'll be fun. What do we got here? Heat fans are very fortunate for Coach Spo and Riley. Sometimes you don't know how good you have it until it's gone. Enjoy while you have it. Well, that's what we had with Shula. And then he was gone, and hopefully now we're going to start to recapture some of that magic from the past. But anyway, so we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot of Heat, a lot of Nuggets, because there's a very interesting storyline going on with the Heat and the Nuggets, and we'll get into that. And it's actually a really interesting storyline because it'll bother some of you out there, even though it's the truth, but it'll bother you because you'll look at it as some kind of a negative or something.
when it's really not. It's just the reality of it. And it's working out for Miami in a big time way. But it is the reality. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about with the Heat and the Nuggets, a lot of different little storylines to kind of look at and angles to look at in this game. We've got, of course, the Panthers and the Golden Knights tonight. Heat set the stage, right? They won game 2 to even up the series. They had to win. They had to win last night, and they got it done. I don't believe the Panthers have to win tonight. I don't look at it that way. I think the Panthers are actually a little bit more, it's more like they belong here instead of the Heat that's been the overachieving monster, round after round. I think the Panthers, I don't want them to lose, but I think they can come back to Florida and win their 2 games and even up the series. Whereas if the Heat lost to Denver, I was going to have a hard time believing they were going to win both games in Miami. And then that's what you fear. Denver wins one of the 2, and then they're up 3-1, and you're screwed. So Panthers, I'm not going to call this one like I did last night a must-win, but you want to send some doubt to the Knights and all of that. And while they started off very physical, I thought it was the Golden Knights that ended up laying the wood to the Panthers when it was all said and done. So, with all the people talking about the physical play of the Panthers, I thought the Knights, answered back with their own hits. And I thought the Cats actually took the worst hits. So stay physical and stay physical all night against these guys. No time to panic. Bob's played well. This is not one of those games that I'm that worried about. So we'll find out what happens tonight at 8:00 on TNT. We got some other stuff to talk about around the NFL. Got a little music stuff that I like to talk about a little bit, which is interesting because it has to do with your money. And sometimes artists don't get it. And it's sad. You know what I mean? Because they make it about them, and it's really not about them. It's about you, the fan. And they need to do more about that. I got some other stuff on the NBA side. Hey, congratulations. I know we're not going to talk much about the Marlins, but congratulations to the Marlins. They sweep the pathetic A's. A's are a terrible team. They outscored them in the 3-game series 23-6. Marlins are now 32-28, so they're 4 games above 500 since they played the A's. They will take on the sorry-ass Royals now, who are 18-41 at Lone Depot Park. So these are all games where you can, pat the stats and put up some W's and fatten up that record so you can be more prepared for the better teams. So good stuff there. Carlos Hernandez, who's 0-3, taking on Braxton Garrett for your Miami Marlins. 1-2 and a 4.22 ERA, 6.40 first pitch. But nice to see the Marlins, take care of business against the pathetic A's. I mean, shit, man. You got bad teams, take care of them and get the job done. Let's see a little roll call. Jamie Zorrilla was first out in San Jose, dude. Says, I hope everybody had a great weekend. Amazing Heat victory last night. Remember to smash the like button, people, and fins up everyone. Too Extreme sent me something funny this morning on Twitter. he said, let me just read his tweet, his DM that he sent me. Here we go. Big O, I don't know why, but the Denver coach Michael Malone reminds me of Drago's coach from Rocky IV movie. He's constantly barking and rips his team that I can't help but to think that eventually those players ain't going to tolerate that crap much longer. If so, better for us. Let's go Heat. 3 more to go. I've never looked at it that way, but he does kind of remind me of Drago's coach and kind of the red face that he gets. Malone has a little bit of that with the Russian dude. So yeah. That's funny, by the way. It's funny. That is funny. And brother, Spo's at another level right now. Just when you think Spo has done the most impressive thing, he follows up with something even more impressive. I mean, all this dude does is build and build and build one of the greatest resumes for coaches in the history of the NBA and especially in the history of South Florida sports. Holy shit, man. That guy is as impressive as it gets. Anyway, Adam Sadowski is in. Dolphin Lifer. Don't root for us now, Big O, because you picked the Nuggets to win the series. You're not ride or die. Some of you fans, you just say some stupid shit, bro. My brother, I don't do the show as a fan. Go fucking watch a YouTuber if you want. I'm a media member. Understand that. I've been in the media for 30 plus years. My job is to pick it objectively. You're going to get them right and you're going to get them wrong. That's just the way it is. Doesn't mean I'm rooting against them. Some of you mental midgets can't understand the two. And please don't text me back that you're joking, because you're not. You're fucking dense and you're an idiot. That's all. You're a moron. My job is not to sit here with pom-poms. Okay? That's the part that some of you idiots like Dolphin Lifer, you don't understand. I can love the Dolphins, and I'll tell you they suck, or they're going to lose, or they're not very good, like I did for 20 years. Was I wrong? No. Most of the time they sucked. Most of the time when I told you they were going to lose, they lost. Most of the time when I told you that coach was terrible, they were terrible. Was I rooting against the Dolphins? No. I told you Ryan Tannehill was never going to be the man because it's not in him. Does it mean I'm rooting against Ryan Tannehill? No. I want Jerry Wilson saying it. So I'm sorry. You know what you need, Dolphin Lifer, is not to watch this show, bro. That's all, dude. If you're such an emotional cripple and you can't handle somebody talking about it objectively, because obviously, Dolphin Lifer, you never reached out to me year after year telling me, well, you're right about Wanstead. You're right about this. You're right about that. Because I've been right about a shit ton of crap on the negative side. It's just the way it is. Doesn't mean you're not rooting against it. But I get it. Some of you fans, because you're fanatical, you're such mental midgets, you can't understand that my job is not to sit here with pom-poms, even though my heart may be rooting for all the teams like the Marlins, but I know they're not going anywhere. Year in and year out. And year in and year out, I root for the Marlins, even though they suck, even though they don't spend, even though they don't care about winning. Does that make me a hater, or does that make me just a person that objectively is looking at the situation? That's it. But I get it, bro. You're a fan. You have no logic, Dolphin Lifer. This is not the show for you, dude. I get it. We're into this society nowadays that, you know, it's all about positive reinforcement. It's all about being really nice and, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. And I get it, bro. We're just a big softy, type of, society now. And in this world of freedom of speech, well, there really isn't some freedom of speech at times. Because people like you get too emotionally crippled. So yeah, bro, I'm rooting against the Heat. Yeah, let me not get on the bandwagon, of course. Anyway, Sadowski is in, Giovanni is in, Steven Gonzalez in, Kyle Cockrell, Tua Time, Dude 67, Rosendo, As we near the end of the school year, may your week be filled with kindness, positive energy, and plenty of steps taken towards your goals and dreams. Go Heat and Cats. Bradster is in the house. Zeus is in. Nyborg is in. Man of 1,005 holds. Chad is in. Says master class by Spo. Yes, 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 and yes. Strafasi says, I'm a little nervous about the Panthers tonight. They give Vegas all the confidence in the world. I think Vegas has their own confidence already, bro. It's since they've been an expansion team, they've been in the playoffs or the finals. They got plenty of confidence. They don't lack that. Alex, Gus 1388, Isaiah, Heat Fins, Brian Landis, Man of 1,005 holes says Spo is the most underrated coach in all of sports. Maybe. You might be right. You might be right on that one, actually. I mean, what he's doing now is just unheard of. Jafrad, it says, good morning, Big O. How big was Gabe and Duncan last night? No matter the outcome, so proud of the team. And Bam. Bam also stepped up big time. Lisa Rose, happy full moon Monday, Fins Nation. Boss B is in. Ray Sosa is in. Carrillo is in from Costa Rica. Duke Tomlinson, Drago, Diego. It goes on and on and on and on. Thank you all out there, as always. Big O, I think people realize how much work goes. I don't know. I don't think people realize how much work goes into your show. Thanks for everything you do and being part of our everyday lives. Appreciate that. I doubt people really realize on average how much work Sean and I put into the platform. I don't. I think people take that for granted more often than not, actually. And we come up, you know, it's really. We're a different kind of show than most everything you hear locally, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the other shows have to depend on commercials. They have to depend on goofiness and just talk about all kinds of other things that really have nothing to do with sports a lot of times. And so that's what you get a lot of nowadays. You don't really get a lot of sports talk. And we actually give you sports talk. You know what I mean? And we give you good subjects to talk about, things to think about. Okay? Obviously, I'm going to delve into all kinds of other subjects because that's how the show is. You know what I mean? Because it's about life. You know what I mean? And as I've gotten older, my interests change. And it's not just sports. I have other interests and other things that I care about and I see. So I inject it into the show. You know what I mean? But there's a ton of work that goes into what we do, and we don't stop. It's kind of constantly preparing. You know, I just did a post-game show yesterday. So I now have to stay away from most of the shit that I talked about yesterday and come up with stuff that's new today to kind of give you more to talk about. And how about giving you something that will get you to think, maybe piss some of you off, and get you, I don't know, maybe rethinking about certain things about what's going on in the Heat series. This Heat series has become incredibly interesting because we're constantly watching Spo grow as a coach, right? Well, not grow, add a chapter to his greatness. He's a grown ass man already at this point. Where this isn't the young coach that took over 15 years ago. What he's doing is he's adding another layer to his greatness, and it's kind of like another force field layer, another force field layer, another force field layer, where he just kind of becomes, you know, impeccable, untouchable. One of the great ones of all time, and he already is. And yesterday, and I love what he did to Ramona Shelbourne. Okay. I feel bad for Ramona. Ramona's terrific. She looks like an incredibly likable person, right? And she knows her stuff. She's well connected in the league. We all know that if you followed Ramona long enough. So she was asking a question about making Jokic more of a scorer, and he kind of shut her down. And that's master class by Spo, because that's how you deflect what you're really doing and, what your genius mind came up with. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, we're going to let him score. It's not like they can stop him anyways, but we got to stop him from becoming, an assist guy. So we've got to let him do his thing because he could do his thing, right? And yesterday, again, he scored, what was it, 40 points, right? What was it that he scored yesterday? Let me make sure I pull it up here. He tore it up again yesterday offensively. And you're not going to stop that guy. It doesn't make any sense if you think, oh, we've got a matchup. It's really hard. You're going to need, an Embiid or somebody like that. 41, right? So 16 of 28, 2 of 5 from 3-point range. Excellent. You can't stop that. But what they did stop was the 4 assists and 5 turnovers. And so in game 1, Jokic had 14 assists and 2 turnovers. And and in game 2, he had 4 assists and 5 turnovers. And this is genius by Spo, because think about this. If you allow him to get double-digit assists plus his 40 points, every time he touches the ball, he's killing you. So Spo says, okay, we can live with him scoring, but we can't live with everybody else scoring. So the pick and roll game with Jamal Murray, it got limited, all those kind of things. Jamal Murray ended up with 7 of 15 shooting for 18 points. It took him 15 shots for 18 points. That's what you want. Inefficient game. Even though the novice might say, well, 18 points is not so bad. On 15 shots, it is, actually. For a guy like that, now you got to be a hell of a... If you're going to take 15 shots, you need to be closer to 30 points. Okay? That's kind of the way it goes. You know what I mean? And so you got him to be inefficient. You got him to take more shots than he has to score the amount of points that he scored there. You know what I mean? And that was awesome for Miami. And that was genius on his part, because you can live with certain things. So you're doing that. By the way, what do you think is going on the Denver side? On the Denver side, they're trying, not successfully, because apparently they're not the defensive team on the perimeter that Miami has been so far, because you look at points in the paint, okay? Denver outscored Miami 46-38 in the first game and 48-34 in the second game. So you're not really going to control the points in the paint because they're the bigger team. You can try, but the deficit was the same pretty much. It was a little smaller in game 1 compared to game 2. But not much of a difference. That's not going to change. But you've got to find a way to change other things. And Spo said, okay, we've got to play defense off his vision, because his vision is second to none, dude. Very few people have better vision than Jokic, even point guards. Okay? I mean, he is, because he is a big-ass point guard, is what he is. And to me, that was genius. So what do you think Denver's doing now? Well, Denver's trying to stop Gabe and company from hitting threes. They're struggling on that. But you know what they are doing, right? They're giving Bam all the airspace he wants. All the airspace he wants. And to Bam's credit, he's taken advantage. He's been, aggressive. 8 of 14, 21 points. Okay? Like to see more points out of it, but he's not a three-point shooter, so you're not going to get more production out of his offense because that's not who he is. But notice when he gets the ball, Jokic is off him for 4 feet. Nobody's in his airspace at all. So he's been given the green light to score because they're trying to limit everyone else because they can live with Bam's offense because Bam can't kill you because Bam's not a three-point shooter. So they're gonna let Bam score his twos. To Bam's credit, he is attacking, he is taking shots, he's played well, he's doing his job. Okay, so he's filling his role. All right. It's cute to find some of you out there acting like he's some kind of a star. That's really cute on your part. You're really not watching the game and really understanding what's actually really going on. But that's fine. That's prisoners of the moment. Rejoice. Rejoice, prisoners of the moment. Yes, he's all world and he's going to win the MVP. Prisoners of the moment. Rejoice. Anyway, so it's coaching. It's what they're looking at. They're trying to see if they can stop Jimmy Butler, who 7 of 19, not efficient. Gabe, 8 of 12. Notice, Gabe shot 12 times and scored 23 points. Bam shot 14 times and scored 21 points. See what I'm saying? Gabe shot 2 less times and scored 2 more points. It's a level of efficiency. Strus started hot early, ended up 4 of 10 from three-point range, which is excellent. Overall, you can't really complain. If all 10 of your shots were from three-point range and you hit 4 of them, you did a good job, overall. But that's kind of what they're trying to do. They're trying to see if they can get to the shooters because those are the guys that can hurt you. They got to try to cover Butler as much as possible because those are the guys that can hurt you. With Bam, they're giving him his space. They're letting him do his thing. And to Bam's credit, he is taking what they're giving him. Okay? And he's producing. Not an alarming rate, but he's producing. The good thing is he's helping everything else. He got 9 rebounds, 4 assists. To me, I'm not impressed with Bam's 21 points. I'm not impressed with his 9 rebounds. I'm not impressed with his 4 steals. I was impressed with his 2 blocks. The 2 blocks, to me, are the big extra to all this. His 21 points come from what they give him. You better take those 21 points. And he's a good rebounder, so that's fine. And he's always had a good vision for assisting and all that. But the blocks don't happen enough. And all the excuse makers, oh, well, he's playing on the outside. So I don't want to hear that shit. You go help defense, and you go sacrifice and move away and have anticipatory skills, get to another spot because you're long and athletic, and make some blocks. And he did that yesterday. So I was, that to me, if there's anything I'm impressed with Bam, was the 2 blocks. The points, they're giving you that. Take it. You better take it. Nobody's challenging your shot. Nobody's in your ear. Notice when Jokic gets the ball, Bam is right in his grill. When Bam has the ball, he's got 3-4 feet of airspace. Jokic can't come up to him because then Bam will get past him. So Bam's got all the airspace to do whatever he wants. So he's got to take advantage of it. It is key for him to take advantage of it. But the bigger key will be Jimmy he was able to muster something at the end. And by the way, nobody asks him if he's injured, even though he's not going to answer it. Nobody will ask him if he's injured. Because I watched the press conference yesterday, and nobody will ask him, Jimmy, how injured are you? And I'm sure he'll downplay it, but at least ask it. It's the weirdest thing, isn't it? Like, it's obvious that Jimmy is injured. But these shooters are the ones that are going to win the game for the Miami Heat, okay? The real MVPs will be Strus Vincent, Caleb, I hope you show up. Lowry, Love, Duncan, the guys that hit three-pointers, you shot 48.6% yesterday from three-point range. They shot 39. Okay? You got to keep shooting from a high percentage from three-point range. You did something yesterday that was amazing because I don't think you can win this series without Jimmy Buckets. And Jimmy Buckets wasn't available yesterday. Again, he hasn't been available for 4 straight games now. He is now pacing himself. Like I said last night, have you ever seen Jimmy Butler attack the hole this much to pass? It's the weirdest thing. It really is. So he's injured, but you won yesterday without Jimmy being special. I can't tell you enough about how amazing that is for this team to win without Jimmy being special. It's crazy, dude. 7 of 19 yesterday. It took him 19 shots to get 21 points. That sucks. And you still won 111, 108. Pretty freaking amazing, man. Pretty freaking amazing. Malkowicz says, Big O, as a prisoner of the moment, I'd like to predict that A-Chain is going to run for 5,000 yards this season. There we go. I like that. Imagine Bam developing the three. Brother, he doesn't even develop an 18, 19, 20-footer. He has to develop that first. He hasn't even developed that yet. He has to develop that on a consistent basis and then push it out to 3. He can do it. He could easily do it. He's got all the skill set, but that's not him. Jimmy's he's injured, Eric. That's why he's getting no elevation. Can you feel the heat down in your soul? He's not injured. Oh, come on, bro. 2 a time. Bro, how dumb are you? Come on, 2 a time. You got to be really dumb to think that he's not injured. You got to be as naive as hell to think he's not injured. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. The key is slowing down Jamal because Jokic is going to get his points. Well, that's part of the assists. You cannot allow Jokic to be a point guard. Ramona Shelbourne was 100% on target. And kudos to her for asking the question because, it is what it is. But they allowed Jokic to be the scorer and not to be the assist guy. That, to me, is everything, man. Duncan bailed out. Yep. 10 points in the fourth quarter. You're right, Travis. You got it. This team has to shoot well to win this game, to win this series. And yesterday, they shot well from three-point range. If they don't shoot well from three-point range, it's going to be hard for them to win. And I think they really need Jimmy to be special. Yesterday, that was an outlier. Jimmy wasn't special. He got special at the end and made a couple of shots for you to kind of help put it over the top. But we haven't seen Jimmy Buckets in the last 4 games. Not the real Jimmy Buckets. You've watched the guy that's kind of paced himself and then waits to the end to get a little spurt and try to get a couple of hoops to help out. But this is definitely not the real Jimmy Buckets. Not even close. Big O, is there any history with Bam and Tim Reynolds? Bam looked like he was annoyed with him. I have no idea. Jimmy loves to coast and make sure no. Jimmy doesn't coast. He gets people involved. That's not what he's doing right now. Right now, he is pacing himself because he's got some kind of an injury. There's no doubt in my mind on that. Let's get some free Molly to Denver Nuggets Hotel in South Beach. That sounds like a winning plan right there. Where are all the people who thought Denver was going to sweep us? I didn't really get a lot of that. I'm sorry. I didn't see that, Jamesville. I don't know where you saw it. I mean, if you're talking about, silly fan crap, but I didn't really see media members saying that they were going to sweep the Heat. I didn't see that. I thought people gave the Heat respect. Most of most people picked Denver in 6 or 7. I don't even know if I saw a lot of 5s. I disagree with you. I don't remember a lot of people in the media saying sweep us. I'm talking about media. I don't give a shit about fans, dude. That's your problem, not mine. You know what I'm saying? That I don't care about. Yes, you're right, Dougie Fresh. On the Twitter timeline, we have a guy who knows that the Heat loss was due to magnets in the rims. Yep. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, there were magnets in the rims in the first game, but we demagnetized the rims prior to game 2, and so we were able to win. Demagnetization. I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it. It's what it is. So, if you look when they showed Jimmy during replays, he's wincing like he's in pain. Yeah, dude. Did you see him walking up to the scorer's table? He's injured, bro. I mean, it's that's the most obvious thing out there is that he's in. You can tell that's not anybody watching the last 4 games knows that's not Jimmy Butler. That's all. Jimmy is a dog, bro. He would be attacking that rim like crazy. Kind of like Welton Rayom, that they attack and attack and attack and attack. And if you got to deal with those insurance companies, you know what I'm talking about, folks. 954-966-4646, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, whatever it is that you're dealing with, any of these kind of issues. And let me tell you something, if you've got to call an insurance company, do not do it. You're going, well, wait a minute, no, I got a policy with, no. You call Welton Rayom first. They have their own adjusters. Their adjusters look at it, and then Welton Rayom will contact the insurance company for you. Trust me, you will get the insurance company's entire attention. When the first time they hear about you, they hear from a lawyer. When they hear from you, they're laughing behind the scenes, and they're going, how am I going to take advantage of this sucker? And you know why I say that? Because you and I are suckers. You and I don't know all the laws, all the loopholes, all the rules, and that's why we're suckers. They know them all, and that's why they take advantage of us. They're great at collecting our premiums. They're terrible when it comes to providing the protection, the services that they promised. Welton Rayom will hold them to that and more. I've seen it. They brought Progressive to their knees. In our case, they can do it in yours. Wherever you're at in Florida, call them. 954-966-4646. Free consultation. You don't even have to go into the office. Maybe only to pick up a check. 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rayom. Oh, how much will it cost for the refs to give us one call? Seems one-sided. Boy, did you see the one on Gabe Vincent? Like, what the hell was that, dude? He was shooting a 3, and the guy went right into him, man, and was standing in his airspace also. Like, Gabe got up like, yo, what the hell? And it's like, some of our young guys, it's almost like they're still being treated like, and Gabe's been in the league a couple years, but he's being treated like he's a rookie. Caleb, too, at times. They just don't get the calls. And I agree with you. Sometimes, I'm not saying the refs had nothing to do with the game yesterday. They made, questionable call or two on each side, whatever. But there was one against Gabe that they missed that one, dude, badly. That sucked. So we'll see. Are you going to Duran Duran June 18th? I don't have any tickets yet for Duran Duran, actually. Where is it at? Is that one at the Hard Rock? That's probably why I haven't gotten a ticket, because it's probably super expensive at the Hard Rock. It's probably what it is. So they sound great, by the way. You can say whatever you want, Dante. You can go listen to it on YouTube if you want. Put Duran Duran Live 2023, and you can hear Simon, and he sounds phenomenal. So he has taken care of his voice and himself. So he still sounds absolutely. When a singer doesn't sound good, I'll tell you. If I've seen them, and I'll tell you, hey, this guy or this woman can't sing anymore, don't go. I'm not going to tell you that for Duran Duran. They're good. They still sound absolutely phenomenal. But I haven't gotten any tickets for that. I am going to The Cure right around. I don't. Am I in town? The Cure, by the way, is up to, I think it is 53 songs now. They just did a concert, and they did Killing an Arab, which is amazing for them to do Killing an Arab. I didn't think that they would do that anymore. Let's see. It's a great song. Really is a terrific song. Let me see. You said the 18th. I know I'm in Atlanta in the middle of the month. No, I'm not. I'm in Atlanta towards the end of the month, actually. June 27 and 28. So 26 through the 29th. I'll be in Atlanta. So towards the end of the month, I'll be there. There we go. All right. Stephen M., thank you for the love on Cash App. I appreciate it, sir. Remember, you can send a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. And Stephen M., send me a little Bitcoin. So some Bitcoin for the extra coverage. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen M. Thank you. Appreciate it. And remember, Cash Big O Show for Cash App or Venmo. Steve M. says, if Jimmy is hurt, why did Spo put him on Murray, and how was he able to cover him so effectively? I don't think he covered him, I don't think Jamal Murray was covered perfectly, but he did a decent job on him. Murray had some shots. I think it was more about Jokic not being involved in the offense and getting others, involved in that offense. But you have no choice. You have to put Butler out there. And by the way, Butler's going to want to be on Murray. He's going to want to lay it all out there like he has, but it's obvious he's injured. If you don't see it, I can't help you guys, really. I can't. It's the most obvious thing that he is absolutely injured. So hopefully he can get through it. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Another super chat. Malkowick, thank you, sir. He says, so jealous of you that you're going to watch The Cure during this tour. I've seen them 5 times, and they kill it every time. Last time was the first time I saw them perform Burn. Burn is in the rotation of the 52 songs. They play 29 every night. They're up to, I think, 52 or 53, I think it is. Maybe 53, I think I counted yesterday. They added Saturday night 10:15 or 10:15 Saturday night, whatever, and Killing an Arab to the list. They were in Vancouver, I think it was. They were or Montreal or somewhere. They were in Canada over the weekend. And that is so amazing that by the time they get to Miami, they'll be up to 60 songs in the rotation. So I'm going to see them twice in Atlanta. I'm really lucky. And then I'm going to see them here in Miami. So I'll see them 3 times on this tour. And I am hoping that it's 29 songs a set, that I will get somewhere near the high 40s to 50s. in different songs because they'll change it up, hopefully, in all three concerts because that's what they do. So that's cool. Pat in Asheville says, tempted to see Duran in Hotlanta, to also see Bastille and Nile Rodgers and Chic. Hate that 4-hour drive, though. But Chic and if you're going to see Chic and you're going to see Duran, it's worth it. It's worth it. Definitely worth it. Okay? And especially if you've never seen them, you got to go, Pat. Definitely. I just hope if I see, are they doing the chauffeur? I wonder. Let me see what by the way, for those of you that don't know, setlist.fm is the site. And then what you can do is you can put any band's name on there that's touring, and you'll see their latest tour and the set lists that they have going on. So they were in Salt Lake on June 3rd, Duran. Nightboat, The Wild Boys, Hungry Like a Wolf, A View to a Kill, Notorious, Give It Up All, Lonely in Your Nightmare, Super Freak. Is There Something I Should Know? Anniversary, Friends of Mine, Careless Memories, Ordinary World, Come Undone, Planet Earth, White Lines, The Reflex, Girls on Film, Save a Prayer, Rio. Holy shit, dude. That is one hell of a set list. 19 songs. No chauffeur. It's my favorite song. They did Portland the other night. Boy, that place is a disaster. And it looks like it's the same exact one. Yeah. So it looks like they're doing the same set list everywhere they go. Yeah, they're not changing anything up. I'm looking at another date, and yeah, that's the same exact one. Okay? Just to kind of give you a little heads up there on that. Robert Triana, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. Very kind of you. Says Big O, been a while since I've chimed in, but thanks for the show as always. Thanks for the sports and life talks and advice. By the way, still going strong, 10 months sober. Nice. Good for you. I've got something to admit. Sean, are you sitting down? Are you all right now? Are you good? Okay, you ready for this? I haven't had a Coke in 5 days. Okay? That's huge for me. It's enormous. You'll see me drop weight like crazy now. I'm on my I finally have gotten like synced in to start to drop this weight. And so it takes me a while, But then when I hone in on it, I usually accomplish it because I've lost 50, 60, and 80 pounds. I've done it 3 times. So I've got to try to lose some weight. Okay. I'm healthy. My heart's checked out perfectly. Everything's great. Colonoscopy, everything. So I've got nothing, but I got to get rid of this weight, dude. And it starts with Coke. Because obviously drinking too much of that shit, you know what I mean? It's gotten me in many, many troubles in the past, but my addiction to it is brutal. So I'm with you, my friend. And congratulations on you being sober, which is much more serious and a much bigger accomplishment than myself. But I've got to do something too about that. And so that is 5 days. A few headaches along the way, but hey, nothing that a couple of aspirins can't fix. A couple of Tylenols can't fix, and so we're doing that. So we're trying to, stay away from my favorite drink on the planet, And it was interesting. I went to a restaurant yesterday. What's the name of this restaurant that I went to yesterday? I want to give them props because I had never been to this restaurant close to my house, by the way. And man, wouldn't you know it? I'm sitting there, and my wife is sitting across from me, and over her right shoulder, left to me, the person that's sitting there is drinking from a Mexican bottle of Coke. I've got to watch that shit throughout the entire meal. But anyways, it's called El Rancho Grande. Is that it? Yes, that's it. Right off of 127th and Kendall Drive. It's right inside the same shopping center where there's an IHOP and a McDonald's and a Carvel. Fat people know food. Okay, we know food. There's an Aldi's there. Actually, food. Fat people know food. And so there's one called the Rancho Grande there. Okay. So make sure you go to the Rancho Grande there because there seems to be another Mexican restaurant in that shopping center. I was thinking about this. What a landlord. What a crap landlord. He allows the same kind of restaurant to open up in the same strip mall? That's disgusting, dude. Jesus Christ. But anyways, El Rancho Grande. Okay, let me tell you something about this place. Not only was the food excellent. Are you ready for this? Are you all sitting down now? Not just Sean. I shocked him now by telling him I haven't drank a Coke in 5 days. He knows that's very difficult for me. Okay? The service is impeccable. It's not good. It's not decent. It's not average. It was impeccable. All the ladies are alert. You turn around 1 second to try to find your waitress, and another waitress will come by. Hey, is everything right? What do you need? Like, it was awesome. Like, you guys know it. Doesn't matter what state you live in right now in this country. Every business is struggling to find good employees. That restaurant has got a shit ton of great employees. So, much props to El Rancho Grande on 128th and Kendall Drive because I had a fabulous meal there yesterday. The food was cooked awesome. It tastes great. That's the kind of place that you want to represent as a host. Man. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So just in case, if you're looking for a Mexican place and you love Mexican food like I do, I think I can eat Mexican and Italian every day of my life. God, I love those two types of food. Anyway, what's it called? Soda is hard. You can try Crystal Light tea powder to help. I'm just drinking juices, man. I've got a cranberry pineapple juice that I'm drinking now. I'm good. I've got a couple natural juices that I'm drinking. But you know, I have to get all that caffeine and sodium and all that stuff out of my body and the sugars, the amount of sugars, the bad sugars too, that I'm taking in. I have to. I have no choice. So it's hard. It's hard. I mean, really hard for me. Okay. I'm very weak-minded when it comes to food, and especially when it comes to that one drink, Coca-Cola. Wow. That thing is, you know, it's a 50-year addiction, man. Been drinking it since I was a kid. So, try limiting your carbs. You can drop a lot of weight pretty quickly. Yeah, no, I know. Usually you drop the first 20 real quick because there's a lot of water weight. So, yeah, it's the sugar. Yeah, Duke, you're 1,000% right. The sugar it's like cocaine, bro. It's the same shit. You know, it's the same thing. I feel like Pookie in New Jack City and talking about the crack pipe. It keeps calling me. It keeps calling, So, yeah, it's kind of the way it is. If you ever sign a lease for a restaurant, you have to have a non-compete clause to prevent your landlord from putting in that exact type. I know. But you go to that same shopping center and there's another one there, and you're like, what the hell is this? It's like, how is this allowed? You know what I mean? But I tell you what, that place is rocking, dude. It was good. It was really good. Much props to those people. I had never been there, and it's close by to my house, and they have got themselves a customer from here on out. I probably will visit those people at least once a month, once every 6 weeks. I will go by and have some food because that was very good, man. Very good. Big O, try V8 Splash. Ooh, I can't have a V8. No, that tomato juice is, no, dude. And I love tomatoes. I got to have tomatoes with any sandwich I have. A sandwich without tomatoes, in my eyes, is kind of an incomplete sandwich, to be quite honest. By the way, I'd be remiss, Sean, we do have to give the Heat something today, and it is called a victory cigar. Yeah, baby. Have you been to the Perdomo factory, by the way, right off of 57th Avenue in the Palmetto? Oh, baby, you got to go there. They've got the full line of Perdomo cigars. They've got a giant-ass humidor with all of their cigars in there, so you can smoke them right there. They've got a beautiful, what's it called, lounge, like a 30-foot couch, pool table, giant TV. Nick Perdomo might be hanging around. Nick Jr. might be hanging around. Say hi to Arthur. Say hi to all the amazing people out there, man, at Perdomo Cigars. And ask them for a tour. Maybe they'll give you a tour of the factory. Check out a million cigars back there. It's awesome, man. So check out Perdomo Cigars right off of the Palmetto and 57th Avenue. And check out the retail store. Great place to buy a cigar and experience it. Plus, you may meet Nick Perdomo. You can take a selfie there with Nick and enjoy yourselves, man. And, Sean, we got a sweep from the Marlins on the Oakland A's or the Las Vegas A's, whatever you want to call them. Let's give them a victory cigar. Now, Inter Miami, they can't get a victory cigar for that coaching change, right? Didn't pay off, right? Yeah, no. It exploded is what happened. So we got to come up with an exploding cigar for losers. That's what we got to do. Yeah, baby. All right, so the challenge is on for our listeners, okay? If you can create a funny GIF, whatever the hell it's called, okay? Quick. It's got to be, 2-3 seconds, 4 seconds maybe, no more than that, where somebody's lighting up an exploding cigar. I'm saying you film it, okay? And then we can use the exploding cigar like we would want to use for Inter Miami should get an exploding cigar, and then we fire off the exploding cigar. That would be good. Now, a man that, his cigar never explodes, it's always smooth, that is Alan Poupart, baby, Canada's finest. He's next. He starts hour number 2 right here on the Big O Radio Show, mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
Alrighty. How you feeling, my man? How was your weekend?
It was very good. How was yours?
Exceptional. Can't complain.
Love it.
Heat won. Marlins swept the sorry-ass A's. Well, they better sweep that bunch.
Bad.
And unfortunately, the Panthers lost, so it couldn't be a perfect weekend, but it was good. And hung out with the wife all weekend, so that's also a good thing.
Nice.
So I can't complain overall. So let's get to a little Panther talk for first of all tonight. Before we will get to the Dolphins talk. Give us a minute here. But the Panthers are obviously in something called the Stanley Cup, so let's get into it. I'm not really panicking at all after that game. Dude, Barkov hits the crossbar, Kachuk hits the bar, El Primo had a couple of shots there. That's cousin in Spanish, by the way, Primo.
I knew that.
Okay, all right. So El Primo, hey, cuz, I've been dying for him to become a guy so we can just, call him cuz or Primo or something like that. Primo. There's just so many things, and especially in this town, and Primo is just like, come on, So plenty of opportunities there. Primo had 2 shots there, okay? 2 people made amazing plays there and all of that. And then I know people were talking about how the Panthers got physical and all that, but I thought it was actually the Vegas Knights that ended up laying most of the wood throughout that night. If people are saying the Panthers should maybe try to worry about not being too physical, I say keep being as physical as possible against these guys because they were responding with their own physical nature too.
Yeah, and then a lot of the stuff that the Panthers got dinged on for physicality or going over the line, whatever, was after the whistle stuff. And it was also like at 4-2 at the end, and it was 5 minutes left. So I don't pay attention. But there were some big hits on both sides. And remember, I think I've said this before, the margin in hockey is like this. Yeah. And you mentioned 2 posts. You forgot Montour also hit the post.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And then Primo had he literally, if you see the replay, he has like an open tap in for the goal, and he's almost starting, his whole body's almost starting to skate forward to celebrate because he's so sure he scored.
Right.
And he kind of just tapped it in instead of like making sure and really like
Fire it in, lift it up.
And in the air, never imagining that Hill would be able to even like get his stick in the way. It's a great save. It's one of those, maybe Cousin could have like been more forceful in slamming it home. And then outside of that, the fourth Vegas goal, which is the one that ended it, it's a turnover in the Panther zone. The guy knocks the puck out of midair about his shoulder level. I mean, that's kind of fluky. No, it's a game that easily could have gone.
By the effing skill it takes to knock it out of the air and one time the bitch right off the ice. That was awesome. Okay? That's I don't think people really understand the skill set that these hockey players have. I don't think people really understand how freaking hard it is just to guide that puck straight. Just tapping it straight, bro. I don't think people understand really how hard it is what those people do.
No, I'm not going to puck out of there. You know who's like amazing at this? I mean, amazing at this is Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, and for all the talk about how tough he is and how gritty, the number of pucks he knocks out of the air is completely crazy. And that was just a great play by Stone. It's kind of a bad luck goal because the odds are that you shoot it that high, and even if you're not supposed to go across the middle of the ice in your own end. So no, easily a game that could have gone either way. You look at the final. If you didn't see the game, you'll go like 5-2. It wasn't a 5-2 game. If you want to be realistic about it. So no reason to push the panic button whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it. And not unlike the Heat. This is the funny part. Unlike the Heat, which I thought it was a must win last night, because I don't think they're good enough to beat Denver 4 out of 5. I'm not saying there's a must win tonight for the Panthers. You know what I mean? But I would love for them to win and split the series and come back to Florida, tied 1-1. But tonight, hopefully you can win, but it's not the end all be all if you lose. I think the Panthers can come back and win both, here against Las Vegas.
No, I don't disagree, but all you do is you lose, you reduce your margin for error. So, but no, it could be that all 7 games could turn on one play. And this is why I was fighting you when you were telling me that the Panthers dominated Carolina. There were 4 games that turned on one play, and the Panthers got all of them. Saturday night, they didn't get that one play to turn it.
So what's key? And by the way, you nailed it on Friday. Was it Friday or Thursday? You're on with us Thursday, right? Thursday. Yeah. That's right. It's the afternoon show. You nailed it on Thursday. You said to watch out for Jonathan Marchessault, and he was the guy that snuck in with the first goal, I think it was, right, of the night.
No, it was the first goal, and that it was a bad. And again, the Panthers are a team that's been really, really sound. That was just a really, really bad fundamental play by Brandon Montour. And then we've been singing his praises. I mean, the guy's been phenomenal in the playoffs. He just made a horrible decision of going chasing. He was there's a second guy to go behind the net with the guy with the puck, completely left Marchessault wide open in front of the net for the easy tap in. That's a defensive mistake where the coaches are going to tell him after the game, like, what did you see there? And then you would think that's not going to happen again in the series.
All right, what adjustments do the Panthers make tonight in order to get a victory?
None. Stop hitting the post. I mean, stop hitting the post, and if you have a tap in, assume that the Vegas goalie Aiden Hill is going to be able to get his stick, so slam it home. Even though logic tells you that a tap in is all that's required, slam that thing home.
Yeah. No, I'm with you too. I don't think there's much to panic about. All right, so hey, bro, where's the Dalvin Cook trade? I thought he was getting traded to Miami. What's going on here? I'm waiting. All these insiders breaking stories of Dalvin Cook coming to Miami. What's happening?
Yeah, but don't you know that the Vikings are very, very high on Alexander Mattison, that they think he's going to be a star? Really? Yeah, I'm sure that's not them leaking it to somebody, right? I mean, come on.
Not at all.
No. It's like, and dude, if they were going to cut Dalvin Cook, they'd have done it by now. Nobody's trading for his contract. The Vikings are pissed off about his contract. Nobody's trading for that contract. That guy's a hell of a player, but nobody wants to pay a running back What's his salary call for? Like 10.4 or something to that effect?
Its number is 14 million, but it's 10 because that's the cap number.
Cap number.
But it's 10.5 what they'll pay him, because I'm sure the signing bonus is the rest of that from when he signed initially. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
No, and then there'll be teams lining up if and when the Vikings actually decide that they will release him, which I'm not convinced they will do. But if they decide to do that, there'll be teams. His agent's going to get a whole lot of calls, and then it's going to become a question of how little is he willing to accept to play in the kind of situation he wants.
Right, because now the talk is, James Cook plays for the Bills, so he might want to play with his brother. But the Bills don't have any money, so you're not going to play for a lot of money for the Bills. And if you want to come to Miami, which is a tax-free state, you're also not going to play for a lot of money. So it all depends on what, and this is what I've told all these Dalvin Cook Dolphin guys, and they're going to trade for him. No, they're not. They're not going to pay a high salary, and they're not going to trade for him. If he wants to come here, it'll be low-hanging fruit. So it's up to him. But if he wants to D-hop this thing, you can forget about it. He's not coming. They're not paying him. Okay? Correct. And you agree on all of that, right?
I completely agree on all of that. And you mentioned the Bills, and the Bills signed Leonard Floyd this morning. So whatever little cap space they had, well, now they have an even less.
Right.
No, it sounds great, and I get it. And the connection's obvious. He's from Miami. He played at Miami Central High. He's a high-end running back. He joins the Dolphins. He's the best running back on the roster immediately. The question is, how big of an upgrade is he over Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, now Devon Achane? Is he that much more significant, especially for a team that's still going to be pass-oriented? That's the question becomes, okay, how much are you going to spend for a guy given those parameters? And I don't know that the Dolphins are going to go necessarily all that high.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. They have signed everyone except Cam Smith out of the rookies. Is it all just language BS that they're waiting on? Because it's not money at this point, right? Because all that shit is slotted.
Correct. Unless I'm mistaken, and then there could be other factors, and you would have to talk to an agent about that. From my understanding, pretty much the only thing to be negotiated would be like, I guess, in the way, because the salaries are slotted, as you mentioned now with the new CBA. It's like how the money is presented, offset language. If he winds up getting cut and picked up by another team, that could be the only thing that could be standing in the way, but that's not going to take long. Those days of, you remember the good old days of you're always concerned about a high draft pick. Is he going to be signing in time for a training camp? And then you'd get those guys who come in and practice the first 4 or miss the first 4 or 5 days because they still haven't signed their contract. Those days are gone. That doesn't happen anymore.
I just want to see, because hindsight, you always see things a little better, like all of us, after everything that's happened. And I kind of had fun with one of my followers on Twitter, because I thought he sent me a smart ass remark that was one that I disagree with completely.
Okay.
And so I was talking about Jalen Phillips, and some guy sent me a thing. He goes, yeah, drafting a pass rusher when you could have had a franchise running back. And so I sent back to the guy and I said, no, you're right, man. It's so much more important to fill the most interchangeable position in all of pro sports than getting a pass rusher. You're right. Yeah. Chris Greer's a dumbass. I was kind of, being a smart ass with, with all of that. And then others were kind of, chiming in on it. So a couple years later, you still want Najee Harris over Jalen Phillips, or are you taking Jalen Phillips?
No, I'm taking Jason Phillips. Saying for their position, I'm not even making a judgment for their position whether Najee Harris is a better running back than Jalen Phillips is a better edge defender. But yeah, if it's even remotely close, you always go with the edge defender. That's not even a question.
Yeah. And by the way, I think he's groomed himself where he is just growing and growing and growing. And last year, I saw a guy that it's like that volcano that the the meteorologists or seismologists or whatever the hell they're called, they're like, "Oh man, are you sensing this? This thing's about to erupt. It's building. Oh man," and they're getting nervous about the volcano about to explode. That's what I felt like with Jalen Phillips last year, watching him getting so close, and the motor was always going, and the professionalism was beginning to end was always there. And now I think everything that he knows physically and mentally, this is when the volcano explodes this year, I think, for Jalen Phillips. I think this is a year where you'll never hear from people like that again, who are a little naive to how you build a football team. Because, brother, if you can get a shutdown corner or a pass rusher or a left tackle or a number one wide receiver or a quarterback, you get that before a running back every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Twice on Sundays. That's an Orlando saying right there. No, there's no question. My thing with Jalen, I'm curious. I'll be honest with you. I'm curious as to exactly what his ceiling is, because there's so many things to love about Jalen Phillips. The work ethic, the attitude, everything. I'm not sure. And then because I've heard some comparison with JT, and I'm like, whoa, simmer down. I think
he could be a poor man's JT. At least.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Again, I'm not quite sure what his ceiling is. I think it's almost
JT level, because that's just not fair.
No, because JT is like a rare athlete, and I don't know if Jalen's like that, but again, with the way he works and what he has, I think what you can count on him, he's almost like he's going to be a lock. He's going to be a lock to be good to very good, with the potential, if everything meshes, to be great. That's the thing.
Does he go over 10 sacks this year? I say
if
this
you're
is
asking, if you're pinning me down right now.
Yeah, I'm pinning you down right now. We don't know Fitz traveling here.
Okay, I would say on the cusp, but no, he's going to get like 8.5. To me, I think that's, until I see something different, to me, that's his ballpark. But it's almost like he's almost a lock unless he gets hurt to get those 8.5.
You're going to see, as the year goes on, hair will be growing out of his face, and it'll
Works
be
for
very
me. Works for me.
10 plus.
Okay.
10 plus.
Okay.
Sacks this year for Jalen Phillips.
Okay.
All right. What else am I overlooking on the Dolphin side? Anything else that a Dolphin fan should know?
Well, I wrote yesterday about Teron Armstead and his celebrity basketball tournament football camp, which in the grand scheme of things, I mean, no, first of all, it's a great off the field thing, because they wound up buying a car for the kid who walked 6 miles to his middle school graduation. But I spoke to somebody who attended the event and asked very specifically, did Teron Armstead take part in the basketball game, or was he just there, coach? And he did. Yes, he did play. And I was told, no, he's not like sprinting up and down the court, but just the fact that he's out there running, jogging, that's certainly a great sign.
Right. Yeah. He was. It wasn't like he was cutting and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm sure
like backdoor cuts, or alley oops. No, but again, if there was an issue with his legs,
on the basketball court is Nikola Jokic. Like, what are you going to do? Block the shot? You're not going to get up there, bro.
Maybe he was moving like Jokic, because Jokic doesn't move. I mean, he's a great player, but the movement's not very smooth.
He is a sick talent, bro. I'm telling you, he is a. He reminds me, I know you're not a big basketball guy, but he reminds me like what we might have seen from Arvydas Sabonis if we got a young Arvydas Sabonis. We got an old Arvydas Sabonis with the Portland Trailblazers, but he had the same kind of skill sets, being old and everything, and it was just one of those things that you would look at Sabonis and go, son of a bitch, if he would have gotten here younger, man, it would have been interesting to see what kind of player he would have developed into. Because maybe also he might have kept himself in better shape too, because he was also, a big guy, dude.
Right.
But he had a skill set for a big guy. You were like, damn, dude, you can move pretty smooth for a big guy,
No, and those guys, and then I remember Arvydas Sabonis very well. I used to be like a very, very big basketball fan. And the thing with him is he passed the ball like a point guard, and he was like 6'11", 7 feet. And that's the same thing with Jokic. I mean, he is smooth with his passing.
Yeah. That's what I think. Arvidas is the young Sabonis that we never saw, in a way. That's kind of the way I kind of view it. All right, what are you working on Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yes, we just put out our latest podcast, Omar and I, the All Dolphins podcast, which is on YouTube, on the alldolphins.com page, also on everywhere you find your podcasts under the name Miami Dolphins Insider. We're going to preview the mandatory mini camp, which starts tomorrow. And then not quite sure exactly what we're going to have on the site later today, but just know that there will be stuff.
And follow him on Twitter at PoopArtNFL. Don't forget, you must bookmark alldolphins.com. That's what makes you officially a Miami Dolphins fan. So check it out. Alan, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
Yes, sir. And we'll talk Thursday, hoping to be discussing a Panther victory in Game 2.
Yes. What you're going? You expecting a win today?
Yes, I do actually, and I think they're going to keep us late tonight. I'm expecting double overtime. Let's say like 3-2 game. That's my prediction.
You son of a bitch! You don't have to do a post game show, right?
Oh, sorry.
Why you got to be wishing on a double overtime? My ass. Jesus.
Dude, I'll be covering the games here in Game 3 and Game 4 later this week, and I may be in the same boat as you because
now you know why these Canadian people have cold hearts. Just living up there the entire time, wishing 2 overtimes on my ass. That's just cold-hearted.
I could have said 4.
There you go. Double cold-hearted. All right, follow him on Twitter at PoopArtNFL. Alan, we will catch up later on in the week when I'm sure I'll be dead tired.
Yes, sir. Have a good one to go.
Later. There you go. Alan Poupart, baby. EJD Construction, 305-433-4843, man. They do it all. Custom home construction, major home remodeling, fully insured, liability and workers' comp, so you are protected. That's what it's all about. A lot of people out there are working and they have no insurance. So if their workers get injured on your property, they can sue you. So make sure whoever you hire, even if you don't hire EJD Construction, you don't want to hire Eric, that's fine. That's understandable. That's your right. But please, whoever you bring onto your property, please, make sure they're fully insured. Because if not, you could get in trouble. All right. And they do it all. Custom home construction, shell construction in-house. That's how they keep the costs down. And it doesn't matter what you're trying to do, from an observation deck to a full kitchen and barbecue and roof in the back, in the backyard. We've got a listener now that is building an efficiency in the backyard because they want to create more. They've got a lot of yards, so they want to create some income and an Airbnb. Boom, there you go. You're in Miami, man. You can do an Airbnb if you have a bigger yard. So that's an idea for you out there, folks. If you you got a big property and you want to make a little extra money, Airbnb is the way to go, or an efficiency, those kind of things. That's, I think, our second listener that has done that. So there's lots of things you can do. Modernize the kitchen. We had another listener that unfortunately had a fire in their home, so they had to remediate the entire home, which is gutting it all out and redoing everything. They do it all, man. Full contractor. They do it all. Custom home construction. A couple of our listeners have made man caves. All right. And also stadium theater. That's another thing that they've done. In fact, we have 2 listeners that have done that now. Stadium seating in their home and all that for home theater system. That is I envy you, because stadium seating is actually so cool with the couches and everything. I don't have that kind of space. I don't have that kind of house, but those of you that do, that is awesome right there. That's a great way to watch sports too. Anyway, call my guy Eric. Dade and Broward only, okay? All right. I apologize in the past, those in Palm Beach that have called, or in Monroe County that have called. 305-433-4843. So if you live in Dade or Broward, they can help you out. EJDconstruction.com, a really strong sponsor of our program for several years now. Please support the people that support us, and they have a AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau. EJD Construction.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. True Fin fan, thank you for the love in the super chat. He says, drank Coke all my life, 45 years, I can't stop. I know, right? It's brutal, dude. Brutal. I know. Yesterday was the first day that my cravings weren't bad for Coke. The fourth day. Today's the fifth day. And it's much better. It takes, because it's physically, it's actually an addiction because the chemicals are in your body, and then you're craving that sugar and all that, and plus the caffeine, and then the sodium also, all that stuff, man. It is so good, but it's so bad for you. I absolutely love it, but yeah, I feel you, True Fin fan, man. It's not easy. I am a witness of it. I am a victim of it. What can I tell you? Richard Keyless, thank you for the love on the super chat, my friend. He says, GM joining a little late. Oh, did you talk about Jimmy's dad's condition might be the reason he's struggling? No, I did not, but I don't think it has anything to do with his struggles because his struggles look physical. And that's the problem with that, Ricardo. That's where I'm going to disagree with you on that. I don't think that's what's slowing Jimmy down. I think there's physically something wrong with him. And I don't know what it is, if it's a groin, if it's an ankle, if it's a calf, it's a knee. Something's going on with him because he's not moving like his normal self. And he can only do it in spurts, which that's not Jimmy. So it's not a mental thing. It's a physical thing that's going on with Jimmy right now. I'm convinced of it. You can see it, So I just hope they pulled off a miracle yesterday. To me, personally, I don't think you win this series without Jimmy Buckets. They haven't had Jimmy Buckets yet for like the last 4 games. Some guy was like, he had 28 points the other night. And it was like, dude, it took him like 28 shots to get 28 points. He wasn't good that night. Just makes you look that way, but it's not that way. I tweeted it out yesterday before last night's game, which last night's game, he didn't shoot well. But because I tweeted it out last night. Some people don't really pay attention. Here we go. Oh, no, that was the Zeller one because they were killing Zeller, and Zeller wasn't so bad. Where are we at? Oh, that's why, because I think it was a reply, so I'm not seeing it on this. Oh, Lordy. This is great radio when I can do this. Okay, no, that's the other one. Oh, where is it? Okay, last 3 games before this game last night, okay? Like I told you, we haven't seen the real Jimmy. The last 3 games, he was 23 of 63, shooting 36% from the field, 21 points a game. You look at 21 points a game and you think that's good, and it's really not. It's not that good. It's not that impressive. And then last night, Jimmy was 7 of 19 for 21 points. Now, it wasn't good, but he was able to muster a couple of baskets at the end. It really helped out. And to me, it's really hard to think that you're going to win this without Jimmy being Jimmy Buckets. You know what I'm saying? And last night, you pulled off a miracle. You won without Jimmy being Jimmy Buckets. That's crazy. That's impressive. That's our Spoelstra. And also got to give Jimmy credit because Spo designs the offense, and Jimmy is such a willing participant that since he physically can't take over like he does a lot of times, he is facilitating and finding the open guy. To me, that is, that's amazing. You got to give Jimmy a ton of credit, man. He has been the ultimate pro here. For all the shit that we heard about Chicago and Minnesota, I don't even think there was any real issues in Philadelphia. They just went with the younger, softer guy that they thought had a future to the older guy. That's all. Why they gave one guy the money and not Jimmy. But, you heard about all those issues. He's been nothing but the ultimate team player here. He helps the young guys. He encourages them. He gets them involved. And he's been the leader the entire time, And a lot of guys you may lose them mentally when they're physically not themselves. And he is locked in, man. Pro's pro, dude. Jimmy Butler is a pro's pro here. That's what he's been. Man of 1,500 goes, I've been getting thousands of reports that Cook is getting traded here. It drives me more. It's so stupid. I even though, it's like me, quite frankly, I probably break more Dolphin stories than most people do. But I told you a long time ago, they weren't trading for him. And I don't know why people keep doing this shit. I told you from the get-go, the only way he ends up here, what did I tell you? If he gets cut and he takes less money, a lot less money. Okay? I'm talking $3.5-4 million. Maybe they'll throw in a couple incentives for you so you can reach it, but you're not going to get a major salary here. So if you want to play here in Miami in your hometown, I don't know about even going to Buffalo, because that was the other thing, only because his brother's there, they mention it. This is all lazy reporting by media. Look, I don't care if fans do it. They don't have any insight. They're just being fans. That's all. You know what I mean? You guys may look at them as some kind of insight, but they have none. They're just taking guesses. And they've all been taking guesses, and they've all been wrong. Right? Wasn't he supposed to get traded on the 1st? Well, we're in the 5th. How come he didn't get traded to Miami? It's the same stupid shit. So, anyway. A week from today, we can be sitting on top of the world, or we can be facing a world of... Nah, Rosendo, there's no misery here. Okay? Any Heat fan... God forbid the Heat lose the series or the Panthers lose the series. There's no misery here. If you're miserable, you're, I don't know, you're ungrateful, put it that way. Because neither team is supposed to be here. This is all gravy. This is all icing on the cake. Whatever happens, whatever's been happening has been all extras for Heat fans. So what you should be, whenever the run ends with the winning the championship or not, you should be incredibly grateful that you had a blessed run through the playoffs. Okay? You can't really lose, because only an idiot would say, oh, the Panthers suck because they lost the Stanley Cup, or the Heat lost because they lost the NBA Finals. Yo, really? You had them there? And then that person's going to shut the hell up right there. Because nobody had the Heat or the Panthers in the NBA or the NHL Finals. The fact that they're there, we just need to be super appreciative of it and embrace it and hope that they can build on it. Okay? That's all. But I don't, there's no misery here. We're way past misery, bro. Misery, Rosendo, you know what misery was? Misery was getting eliminated in the play-in tournament. That's misery. Misery is the Panthers coming up short and not making the playoffs and not finding Alex Lyon to kind of bail you out. What a crazy story. This is all crazy. There's no misery here, dude. There cannot be 1 ounce of misery here. 2010 Heat, misery. 2014 Heat, misery. I can live with that. I can live with the bubble misery almost too because of the Bam, not because of them getting there, because that was also magical, but because of the Bam Dragon injury. That's the only reason I'm in misery, because, it could have been a whole different ball game with that. So that's just me, but what can I tell you? Where are we at here? Ooh, we got a dip. Damn. Okay. How are the markets doing? We got a dip in Dow Jones is down 100 points. S&P's down almost 9 points. NASDAQ down 1/4 point. Okay. Am I missing something here? What happened in the markets? Wow. I thought maybe, the markets would get a little bit of a boost. Boy, was I wrong on that one. Holy crap. Amazing. Even a little dip on Jasmine. Yeah, baby, there's a dip on Jasmine. Okay. Let's see. Karoon says, I'm glad the Deshaun Watson rumors have been over for the last year. So that was legit making me upset more than anything in the sports world. I would have been disgusted with the Miami Dolphins if they would have acquired that scum. Sorry. I got to be honest, bro. I mean, I would have been absolutely disgusted. Really. Would have driven my ass crazy if they would have done that. Big O, do you think the Panthers will win tonight? Yes, I do, Ricky. I think they will. Just like Miami did in Heat game, in game 2 through this postseason, when the Heat win, Panthers win. Notice, yes, I have noticed that. Let's go Heat, let's go Panthers. That has happened. Rosendo says agree, Big O. Yeah, man, you got to agree. We can't have any misery anymore for our basketball and hockey teams. We have to be absolutely so grateful for this run, however it ends. Obviously, we all want a championship. I mean, shit, dude. Could there be any sweeter championships than those? This Heat championship will be, the first one was the sweetest, obviously, because it's the first one that the Heat, but this will be the most amazing championship out of all of them. Because your star's not even 100% now. You're going to win without Jimmy being 100%? Come on, man. Like Eric Spoelstra, like statue. If they win the championship, it's Eric Spoelstra's statue outside, and it needs to be put on top of the arena. Okay? On top of the arena. That's where it should go. It should be the Kaseya Center at Eric Spoelstra Court. Okay? I mean, seriously. It's Spo's world, and we're just living in it, bro. If he wins this championship, greatest coaching job of all time. Him and Howard Schnellenberger. Let's see. Thank you for putting everything in perspective. Oh, you're welcome, Rosendo. We try. We don't do it all the time. We don't hit it, but, you know. By the way, really nice dip for Jasmine right now. Yeah, I did get some. Anyway, congrats to the Heat. You guys were better than us yesterday. First team to beat us at home in the playoffs. Yeah. Let me tell you. Let's get into that now. Okay? Let's get into what happened yesterday, and what the Heat did yesterday was so enormous in many ways. One, you're not beating Denver 4 out of 5 games if you don't win yesterday. If you go down to 0-2, Miami's not good enough to do that. Okay? But what you had to do, and that's why I said it was a must win yesterday, because did you see the coach? Coach is complaining about effort. And then he says his players even knew about it also in the locker room when he addressed it. And then the players saying, hell, it's the NBA Finals. We got to have more energy, man. So now you've gotten Denver to question themselves. Now the immortal is mortal because the invincible was defeated, right? You thought you were going to live forever. You thought nobody could beat you. Well, guess what? Somebody handed you a loss at home. You are beatable. You know, it's Rocky and Drago. You see, he's a man, he can bleed, and all that stuff, right? And it's the same thing. Rocky was pummeling Drago. Drago got cut. The entire place went crazy. For the first time, they saw Drago bleed. So yesterday, Jokic is basically Drago. You know, he's saying, I will crush you. And we are Rocky. And Rocky was, no, you're not. And so Rocky kept hitting and hitting and hitting. And boom. The good thing is, you got the old man in the corner, right? And he's making all the calls now. And his name is Eric Spoelstra. And he was a genius that yesterday he said, we can't allow Jokic to kill us offensively and as a point guard. We got to take something away. We can't take away his offense. Nobody can stop Jokic from scoring. But we can take away his skill set to be a point guard. Because if you give him the ball on every possession, he's killing you. If he's not scoring, he's helping somebody else score. So that's what Spo and his staff did. They designed the defense to make sure he could not be the effective point guard that he normally is. Genius. More doubt into them. And that's what you need going back to Miami. Now you've got doubt, and now you're going to play in Miami now, where Miami has had more success against you. Miami barely has any success against you in Denver. Well, now they did. Because a series becomes different than one game throughout when you're playing in Los Angeles one night and then the next night you're playing in Denver. It's just different kinds of preparation. Now it's all on you now. Now they're playing you every single night. Now they can really delve into everything you do. And that's exactly what they did. That was genius yesterday. But what you did was you put doubt in their minds. You're now effing with them. Okay? And to me, that's huge. Huge for Miami. Because nobody's been able to put that doubt in Denver's mind except this team. The little team that could. Because that's what the Heat are. They're the little team that could. Because every time you think they can't, they have the will to get it done. I don't know how they're doing this. It is absolutely amazing. But I got to give them credit because you got them questioning their effort. You got them questioning their scheme now, and you've got them now in a position where, holy shit, we lost the home court advantage. And now we got to go to Miami. And now they desperately have to split in Miami. Worst case scenario. See, Denver knows they can't come to Miami and lose both now. So now pressure's on them. All the expectations is on them. They are now questioning themselves. Meanwhile, the Miami Heat continue to do what they do in every single series, and it pays off for them. So you know what it does for Miami? It builds up their confidence. This is why I told you after game one, I had zero panic because the Heat just missed a bunch of open shots. It wasn't like Denver in their face. It was wide open shots, and Jimmy wasn't himself. Sadly, they couldn't get Jimmy to be himself again. He found a couple of moments, but he still isn't himself. But you hit the open shots. And was it the third quarter? When they made that run, or the second quarter? I think maybe the second quarter. When they made that run, you weren't hitting the shots. And when you pulled away in the fourth quarter, you hit your shots. When you dominated early on in the game, you hit your shots. This team has to hit their threes in order to win this series. They also, I still believe they need Jimmy buckets. I have a hard time, but now they are the little team that could. So if any little team that can do it without their only star being at 100%, I guess it's this one. But they planted the seed of doubt that they needed. Now let's see if it actually comes to life and gives them the edge that they need going into this series and into games 3 and 4 in Miami. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Let's see. Laughing my ass out loud. Big O. How was that Rocky voice again? I must break you. Oh, the Rocky voice. Oh, no, you're not. I don't know. Something like that. You know, what can I tell you? Oh, cut me, Mick. Big O. We put doubt in their minds and instilled more confidence in all of our guys even more. Amen. Wonder if Big O can talk like Mickey and say, you're going to eat lightning and you're going to crap thunder. You got to eat lightning and you got to crap thunder. I don't know. I can try. Can't let them get the home court advantage. Well, definitely not, my brother. Definitely not. Big O, when will Omar Kelly understand the impact Wilkins has? I cannot explain, okay, Omar Kelly's lack of, Wilkins dominance. I don't understand. It seems to me like he really doesn't watch him all the time. It just, Christian Wilkins is, put the kids away right now, earmuffs, whatever, tell them to shut up, or then you're going to have to turn it down here. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Christian Wilkins is fucking awesome, bro. That's all I can tell you, man. He is fucking awesome. And I don't know what Dolphin fan doesn't think that he's fucking awesome. And I have no concept, no idea, no understanding where Omar Kelly stands on this. Okay? I'm sorry. He's tripping out because he might have to pay him 18 to 20. I am not. That's what the market goes. Pay the man his money. All right, since I'm into impressions today, pay the man his money. Come on. You know what I want? I want Christian Wilkins to retire here. I want to put his ass up in the Ring of Honor. I want to see him celebrating a Super Bowl with Miami because I think he's one of those pieces that you need in order to win a championship. Okay? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's all I can tell you. Okay? Love that dude. I think he has grown into one hell of a player. That's just the way I look at it, you know? Kind of like Essential Moving Experts. They are one hell of a company, and they can move you from city to city within the state of Florida, Georgia, New York, California, whatever it is. They can move you from state to state. They can move you anywhere across the country. They even do this. Sean Williams and folks out there at essentialmovingexperts.com. You see their dolphin colors. That's not us changing the colors. That's the colors of their website. That's the colors. He sent me 2 shirts. One was aqua, one was orange. Big time Dolphins fans. Their main offices are in Daytona, but they work the entire country. And let me tell you something. If you're moving your home or your business, and the new home or the new business not ready yet, maybe it needs another week or 2 or a month or 3, well, Essential Moving Experts will hold your stuff up to a month on their storage on the house. Now, if you need to negotiate a little longer, they can do that also for you. So call Sean Williams and the boys at 386-213-4050. Folks, like over 1,800 people have given reviews, and they love Essential Moving Experts. They've earned that A+ rating. People love Essential Moving Experts. Check it out for yourself. Go to essentialmovingexperts.com. Better yet, call. All right? Brooke, all the great people out there, 386-213-4054 for Essential Moving Experts. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Nice Rounders reference. We try our best. Omar doesn't pay much attention to Wilkins. If he was a running back, he would. I love that, Ray. That's fantastic. His opinion is that Raekwon Davis, who has done nothing, is more important to keep than Christian. No, yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? I don't think he really feels that way, but, Raekwon, I need Raekwon to do a little bit more, man. So, Big O, who would be your starting all-time 5 for the Heat and their backups? Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Nobody on this team would be starting. So, it's just crazy. That's not what I would do. I'm starting Zoe at center. Starting wow. Do I put LeBron at power forward or do I put him at small forward? Because I got Wade as my starting 2 guard, obviously. Who's my starting point? Do I start LeBron at my point? So I put Bosch as my power forward, Zoe as my center, LeBron as my small forward, Wade as my shooting guard, and who's my point guard? No, I'm going Zoe, not Shaq. Now I'm going to go Bosch as my power forward. I want 3s. Yeah, Hardaway has to be my point guard. You're correct. So Hardaway my 1, Wade my 2, LeBron my 3, Bosch my 4, Zoe my 5. Let's run. Okay? Then off the bench, I've got Posey, Butler. Those will be my My small forwards. Can you imagine James, Butler, and Posey are my small forwards? I'm kicking your ass. Like up and down everywhere. I'll have Cycly back up. No, we'll have Shaq back up Zoe. Let's see. Do I put Bam as my backup to Bosch? Then who's my backup point guards here? Jason Williams, definitely. I like that. I'm going to go Jason Williams. And I'm going to go Sherman Douglas as my third guard, my third point guard. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let me get Goran Dragic instead. Early Goran Dragic with the Heat, not older Goran Dragic with the Heat, but early Goran Dragic with the Heat. I can do that. That's good. That's actually better for this game nowadays. By the way, Keith Askins will be one of my 15 guys. That'll be my other small forward out there hanging out. Glenn Rice, to extreme. You're good. I forgot about Glenn Rice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing Butler over to my 2 guard. He'll back up Wade, and I'll have Glenn Rice as my small forward backing up LeBron. There you go. Okay? So it'll be Rice backing up LeBron, Posey backing up Rice. That's how we're going to do it. Okay? It's a good one to extreme. Thank you for the help out there. Eddie Jones can be my third 2 guard behind Butler. That's not bad. That's a good one. I like that one. So Wade starts, Butler relieves him, then Eddie Jones is my third guy. Maybe I could come up with another one. I don't know yet, but Eddie's pretty good for my third guy. That's pretty strong, actually. Steve Tricky Smith. Okay, I like that. So I start with Hardaway. Smith is my backup, and Sherman Douglas is no. Smith is my backup. Then Goran is 3, and we drop Sherman. Right? Is that what we're doing? Okay, we could do that. The Dan Marley that we got, not the Dan that I want to put up there. He busted up his back when we traded for him. God, Riley has had some bad luck at times. We've had so much success, and we've had so much bad luck. You trade for Marley, and he blows out his back, and you never get Thunder Dan. If we would have gotten Thunder Dan, he might have been my starter, actually. Okay, but we didn't get Thunder Dan. No, I didn't put Bam in the G League. I put him as one of my backup power forwards. I can put him as my backup. Polly King is right. We need Michael Beasley. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that scene in St. Elmo's Fire when Rob Lowe goes back to the frat house and he wants to find a job because he doesn't want to really adjust to life. And then the guy says, "Oh, yeah, dude, it'll be great. We need somebody that can get us some good drugs." So Michael Beasley would be he would be the fall guy. He would be the Chris Carter for the team. You need a fall guy, right? Anybody remember Chris Carter talking about the fall guy? You see, let me see if I can find that soundbite. For those of you that don't know, a few years back, Chris Carter, the moron, got in trouble, and we can see why his son isn't very bright and is constantly in trouble, by the way, because obviously, the apple didn't fall too far from the dad's tree. But that moron ended up address. He was working a rookie symposium, and in that rookie symposium, Chris Carter was telling the youngins that if you're going to do something illegal, you got to have a fall guy, right? Because the fall guy can then take the fall, and whether it's a gun or drugs or whatever. He didn't really use those specific examples, but it's kind of what he meant. I'm paraphrasing, right? But you need a fall guy. Do I have it here? Oh, I don't think so. Damn it. I was hoping I had it here. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Maybe. Hold on. One more thing here. No. Oh, well. I know I have it somewhere, man. This sucks. I thought I could whip it out quickly, but I could not. Damn it, bro. That sucks. Oh, well. I wonder if I maybe put it under Fall Guy. No. Okay. But it was a funny soundbite. If you could experience it for once, it was a funny soundbite. But anyway, so basically, that's what you would need Beasley to be, the Fall Guy. That would be good. My goodness, could you ever imagine actually having a team like that together for real? The team would break the NBA literally. Yeah, it would be. Jason Williams would sometimes scream on his passes. Man, he was really good. Bruce Bowen, that's a good one, Gordon. That's a really good small forward shooting guard because he's a 3-and-D guy. So it's Posey or Bruce Bowen. You know, we're kind of really, what are we doing here, you know? What are we doing, you know? Hour number 3 is next, and we're hoping Marcel Louis-Jacques will join us to talk a little Miami Dolphins right here on the Big O Radio Show.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Whew. Boy, we got a dipster in the market right now going on. I think this is I don't know, could be the final cleanse. It's a beautiful thing. That's all I can tell you, folks. It's a beautiful thing. While others look at it as something disappointing, I just look at it as an opportunity. I am loving it. Ricky's asking, how about Gary Payton? Gary Payton's fun, but we got an older Gary Payton. Although I got to tell you, Gary Payton hit 2 of the biggest shots in the finals in 2006. He doesn't get enough credit for that. So one was in game 5. I'm trying to remember the other one exactly. But wow, awesome. Anyway, it was awesome too. Scooping up a whole bunch of Jasmine right now, man. Oh, that was really good. Anyway,
What else do we have going on? NBA talking expansion. And this makes a lot of sense for two cities, okay? And remember, with the NBA's talent pool, this is what I told you about football. I'm probably not going to be able to really see it, but eventually when you expand into Europe and then you start to influence that part of the world to play your game, just like soccer has been influenced all over the world, the same thing, that eventually, just like baseball has a larger pool of talent to pick from than football does, just like basketball has a larger pool of talent to pick from than football does. I'm talking about American football. And just like hockey has has a larger pool of talent to pick from than football does. Football only has it from this country. Yeah, you know, a couple of Canadians might sneak in, maybe a Mexican or two sneaks in, but forget about it. The rest of the world, nobody sneaks in. It's just not happening. But eventually you need to, in order for this sport to grow internationally, you're going to need to grow that. And that's one thing that basketball has. Their talent pool just gets bigger and bigger and bigger because basketball gets bigger and bigger and bigger all over the world. So the commissioner was asked about, you know, the chance of expansion. And so he addressed the chance for expansion. And he also, brought up two cities, he didn't bring it up, but two cities that people are bringing up, which makes all the sense in the world. One is Seattle. Okay. Seattle never deserved to lose their team. Kind of like Montreal. They never deserved to lose their team. The Browns, I know they got a team back, but they lost their team, and they should have never lost the team. Sometimes there are those cases where a team or a city loses a team, and they shouldn't lose the team. And then that becomes, kind of a depressing situation. And that's been the case for Seattle. Seattle has deserved to get a team back for years. So rumor is that Seattle may be one. And then the other is Las Vegas. I mean, I got to tell you, you know what I got wrong? I mean, I get plenty of things wrong. Speaking of something, I got something that I kind of I was a little slow and kind of picked up on it that I screwed up, and I'll talk about it now. But one of the things I completely whiffed, I was sure that the NBA would be the first league in Vegas. And to find out it's going to be the fourth league in Vegas, I couldn't be more wrong. Vegas was built for the NBA. Perfect. How they're last, how hockey was first, that's who I thought would have been last. Hockey. I thought baseball would get there before hockey. Okay, I couldn't have got it more wrong. I thought NBA, then NFL. Shit, NHL, NFL, baseball's coming, and then eventually. It says, we don't have any specifics in mind right now, but I think it makes sense over time. If you're a successful organization that continues to grow, there's no doubt there's a lot of cities who are interested in having the NBA. And that's why Woj then reported that, obviously, Seattle and Vegas are the front runners right now for it, which makes a lot of sense, dude. A destination city like Vegas, it's big enough now. And then on top of all of that, sports fans will want to see their team in Vegas. They'll want to make a trip to be able to do it. And how about if you're a Giants fan, you're a Packers fan, you're a, I don't know, whatever, any of these places where Seahawks, any of these places where you have trouble getting tickets sometimes. Now you get to go, okay, I can't get a ticket here, but I can make a trip and go to Vegas and see my team. I think it's the coolest thing. I really do. I can't wait to see one of our teams in Vegas. I haven't done that yet. That's definitely on my bucket list. to go see the Heat play a team in Vegas. Eventually, when it happens, Panthers and Marlins and obviously Dolphins. That's already happened. I haven't been able to do it, but definitely want to do that. Yeah, and Seattle does need a team. I mean, they need to clean their shit up, but then again, that's the whole West Coast. Oregon, Washington, California. I don't know what's happened to the leadership in those states. They deserve a team, but they also need to focus on cleaning their damn streets up. Real Madrid tried to join the NBA, and Silver said no. Well, Real Madrid is not big enough to join. Okay, that's the problem. Let's see. Africans are coming in droves, second generation, and some over as kids. Everybody comes in as on droves, bro. That's what America is. We're loaded with immigrants. That's who we are. I wish CT would get a team Connecticut. We're a basketball state because of UConn, Paul in Connecticut. Yeah, but is it big enough to support an NBA team? You know what I mean? That's the problem. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys are big enough of a community that can support an NBA team. Plus, you need the corporate dollars. That's part of being in a city, is also having the corporate dollars involved in all of that. And so if you don't have enough businesses in the area to buy all your skyboxes and all of that, that's super, super important. So if you can't do that, it's going to be hard for you to really maintain any kind of professional team. Vegas is saved because they've got all those casinos and all those companies. Big O, stop cussing, man. Why, you got kids, Karen? This is a show for adults. Okay? This is definitely not a show for the weak of heart. This is not a show for the soft. This is not a show for the emotionally crippled. It's just not. But this is a show where you get the one and only Marcel Louis Jacques.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayon Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis Jacques is in session.
Welton Rayon has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis Jacques.
Luke Rabbit. That's funny, Polly. Anyway, welcome aboard, Marcel. How you doing, baby? How was your weekend?
It was quiet, man. Nice and quiet, just like I like it. I wanted to go see a movie this weekend, right? Like I woke up one day and I saw a trailer for Oppenheimer. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go see Oppenheimer today. It doesn't come out until like the end of July. That derailed me. I was like, okay, well, then I guess I'm just gonna chill. That's but I hear that the new Spider-Man was excellent. So I think next movie I go see will be
I'm just so tired that it's just a new Spider-Man all the time, and it's just like,
well, this is the thing. Did you see what is it called? Into the Universe or Into the Multiverse, whatever the last
last one with the other dude. That's not the other guy.
No. This is the cartoon version.
Oh no, I did not see the cartoon.
See, it's a new angle. It's new. You're not just seeing, Toby Andrew and what's his name?
No, he's Tom. Not just bit by the spider and becoming Spider-Man again. We're not going through the whole story again.
I think they did, but this is Miles Morales. It's not Peter Parker.
Okay, right.
Peter's in it, but it's the Miles Morales Spider-Man arc.
What does that mean?
Miles Morales, like the black and Puerto Rican Spider-Man?
I have no idea. There's a black
bro.
Puerto Rican Spider-Man?
Yeah, man.
I have no idea.
Come on,
Didn't
Chad.
know.
We got to put him on game here. We got to put him on game.
I had no idea. I'll be completely honest. I am worn out of superhero movies. I follow them less and less now because it's all repetitive. There's very little creativity throughout all of this shit. And it's like, how many more times are you going to see the Spider-Man story?
This one's pretty creative.
I didn't know that this was a completely different Spider-Man, and I guess there's a whole different history of a completely different Spider-Man that I didn't know about. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty unique. It's a pretty different story. It's a pretty different story. I thought the last one was excellent. I like that animation style. It's I don't know what the company is called, the studio that does it, but they also did this movie on Netflix called Intergalactic, like Intergalactic, but with the E, Intergalactic. And it's like produced by Kid Cudi, starring Kid Cudi. Musically, visually, it's an experience. If you're looking for just something to like chill to, quiet night, maybe some other things going on in your night. I don't know if we're allowed to discuss it, but throw on Intergalactic, you won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. Good music too.
Are you saying that you should get Galactic while you're watching Intergalactic?
I'm just, if you partake, who am I to tell you that you are wrong?
Okay.
Who am I to, it's kind of, I feel like it's not so taboo anymore. There's vans. I walked by a van or drove by a van not 8 minutes ago selling weed out the side door in Wynwood. So it happens out here.
No, it's legal. It's fine. You could talk about it. I mean, I don't care. And by the way, any dispensary wants to join our platform, we are more than open to it, and we'll broadcast from. By the way, it is a bucket list. I got to broadcast from a dispensary. I mean, that's just, I have to do that. There's got to be a way that I broadcast from a dispensary. So I have no problem with that. People do that, Jay. What's the difference between the guy that has a joint or has a glass or two of whiskey?
My thing has always been, I really don't care what your vice is. Everybody has one. As long as you are a productive member of society, I don't really care what you do. As long as you're not hurting anybody and you're contributing something, bro, live your life. I'm not in charge.
Others, don't hurt kids, and we're good, bro. Whatever you want to do. We got a bigger problem with prescription pills in this country than weed. Okay, so that's just the way it goes. But anyways, it is what it is. I asked Alan Poupart, so I will ask you now. What's going on, bro? Where's the Dalvin Cook trade? Everybody had Dalvin Cook traded here. Well, what's going on? All these reports are so accurate. Tua's going to get traded to the Colts or Washington, or they're still looking for Tua replacement, or Jordan Poyer's going to sign here for sure.
Well, hold on a second. That one
accurate reports over the offseason. Here's another one. What's going on, bro?
Well, the Poyer one, I will say I got a text on January 25th from somebody in Poyer's circle that said that they wanted Miami to happen. They wanted the Dolphins to happen. That's what they're angling for. The money wasn't right. The money that Miami was offering was not right.
Of course,
but you
can want whatever you want. You can want whatever you want. That doesn't mean it's a report. It doesn't mean it really is going to happen or whatever. Just because you want it, I want a couple $1 million so my wife doesn't have to work anymore and I can relax a little bit more. But hey, we can't get
people in hell want ice water, all that. Yeah, so but that was I only said that because that was the only one of those I thought could possibly.
No, but we had people that had them here already. Like for sure, it was happening. Like, give me a break, dude. But there's a shitload of those all off season, and the year before, and the year before that, whatever. But the same thing. Everybody had Cook traded here, and so he hasn't been traded. Now, it'll happen June 1st. So June 1st came and went. We're on the 5th. What do you hear?
So here's the thing. The Dolphins don't need Dalvin Cook. And hear me out here, because the last time I said something even remotely close to this, some fan started some whole thread that I refused to interact with about this guy doesn't watch football. Look, positives about Dalvin Cook, right? He played 17 games, full season for the first time in his career last year. All right. It was the least efficient season, though, he's had since a rookie. But that kind of happens when you have more carries and more of a workload. I don't think Dalvin is washed, per se. I think he's still a talented, a very good running back. I said the Dolphins don't need Dalvin Cook. That is not the missing piece. They're not a running back away from being a Super Bowl contender. And because of that fact, they are not going to part ways with significant capital in order to add a luxury asset to the team. If this was 2 years ago, then I could maybe see it. Like 2 years ago is in the state of the roster when the best running back was Myles Gaskin and Savon Ahmed. Then by all means.
But 2 years ago without flow, because no New England coach is going to pay that much for a running back.
You know what I mean? Like if the running back room looked like it did 2 years ago, not the whole overall team.
Bro, I got
I understand. But
everything you're saying, bro, makes a crap ton of sense, and some fans just don't get it. I tried to explain last week that it's more important to fix the left guard and the right tackle than it is to get Dalvin Cook, because if the left guard and the right tackle are playing up to par to the right guard, the center, and your left tackle, you're going to have a massive line, and everybody's going to be running 4.5, 5 yards a carry. I don't care what your name is; it doesn't matter. And that's all that matters, really. It's really fixing the left guard and the right tackle more than the 3 running backs that you already have that look very capable, by the way.
And you spent so in order to get Dalvin Cook, right? He's not Christian McCaffrey. This is not Derrick Henry, right? You're not going to trade a first rounder. You're not going to trade a second rounder even. You probably trade a third round pick and, with some extra features, but the centerpiece is going to be that third round pick, right? I think we can agree that's reasonable.
Yeah, of course.
What did the Dolphins just do with the third round pick?
They got what the head coach
wanted.
They
got it. They got the running back for a third round pick. So that's where they're going to spend their capital. I just wrote about this last week. There are 100 reasons why the Dolphins should not go after Dalvin Cook. But if it's at the right price, then yeah, pull the trigger. If he wants to come here, like I said for a Chase Edmonds or a Raheem Mostert last year type deal, which I think Mostert, he's going to sign for more than that. Let's be respectful to this man. But so Chase, you want 2 over 12 or something like that? You want to really severely cut back what you're asking for? By all means, bring him on board. And 8 and up, you don't need that.
No.
They don't
Plus,
need it.
Because you just drafted A-Chain and you bring in Cook, it stunts everything now. And it sets the other guys back now because there's going to be less food for everybody. Less is going to eat. And because Cook also can catch the ball, then you're the guy you drafted. I think this coach is excited to use him as a running back and as a receiver. So then this is going to take away from everything. I just don't think you make this commitment and then all of a sudden bring in Cook, and then you're almost putting everything on the back burner now. And I just don't see that right now.
No, I don't want people to misconstrue this again as if I'm saying they don't think Dalvin Cook is good. Oh, you don't need a good player. If you can add good players to your team, then sure, go right ahead. But the price has to be right. The price has to be right, and the Dolphins are not in a dire need of Dalvin Cook. They could use Dalvin Cook. Anybody could use the Niners could use Dalvin Cook. The Eagles could use Dalvin Cook. Any team can use a good freaking player, but it doesn't always make sense. It doesn't always make sense. And in this case, I don't think it. I don't want to pound the table too hard, so I have to put my foot in my mouth when he signs. But there's a world in which they're successful without Dalvin Cook.
What'd you think of Nick Needham and some of the guys coming back from injury? How did they look in that secondary? And then some of the experimentation that is going on also with some of these guys. That's really what it is. It's not that they're moving a guy to center, like let's say Eichenberg. I think it's more about experiments. and find out, can you play this position in a pinch?
I'll learn a little bit more about the real rotations this week because it's mandatory minicamp, and there were some people that were not participating over the past few weeks. So I'll just say that. Needham and Jones, they've been running off to the side during the 2 sessions that we have been there for. I have not seen them participate in team or individual drills. I think Brandon Jones is probably he's closer to being ready than Needham. It was a less significant injury. And he was running laps around the field at UCLA, in December. So like, I think that he's on a good track. Needham even being out there, that torn Achilles usually takes about 10 months. I think he tore it in October. So that puts him around now to start, really rehabbing and coming back. So like 10 months to start, just to get back in action again, not 10 months and you're fully cleared. But like I don't know. I can't say that he'll be ready for the regular season. That's not something that Mike has told us. It's not something that I've particularly heard, but we do have 2 months until the season starts, 3 months until the season starts. There is time, and there is a world in which it might be possible, but I would expect to see Brandon Jones back on the field first before Nick Needham.
Anything with Cedric Wilson, and I'm talking about not just on the field. Hopefully he's healthy and everything's fine, but I'm talking about any chance of moving Cedric Wilson.
If the price is right, sure.
Because now we're past June 1st. That's why I asked that, because maybe it becomes.
If the price is right, sure. But I think he's still in that. I think he's still in that hunt for wide receiver 3. I do think it's a race that Robbie Anderson is leading right now, but it is so early in the game that like it's almost irresponsible to speculate.
I don't think there's 3 on this team, bro, at all. I think it's just a rotation. I think it's situational. I think Barrios will be your 3. I think a whole bunch of other guys will be your 3s. Yeah, I think that's how it's going to. I think A-Chain will be your 3 at times. I think tight end will be your 3. I think everybody's going to rotate on becoming a 3 on this team. I don't think there'll be 3. There's only 2 locks, and that's Hill and Waddle. And then everybody else, I think, will take turns depending on the defense, the scheme, the where you're at on the field, the where the game is at that moment. All those kind of things is what's going to dictate what McDaniel's going to use as a 3. I think getting Higgy with it can be a number 3. Okay, all right. If Tanner Connor doesn't beat him out, I think anybody can be a 3 on this team. Actually,
the 3 by committee is more likely, but I mean somebody's going to start. So I think like the starter. I think somebody's going to have to lead that group of the rest of the all bus in targets. I like what Robbie Anderson has been doing. Ordinarily, if end of last season, if you were to ask me about Cedric Wilson on this team, could have at least fallen back on his return responsibilities. But after signing Braxton Berrios, obviously Braxton Berrios is your returner.
Yeah, for sure. So, and A-Chain will probably help out on kick returns.
Exactly. So Ced is going to have to. He's going to have to make an impact at receiver this year, this offseason.
So you're expecting them to keep.
It's a tough argument.
So you're expecting them to keep 6 or 7 receivers?
They kept 6 last year.
So okay. So then, who's out of Waddle, Hill, Wilson, Berrios, Chosen, Craycraft, and Ezukama?
So obviously Waddle and Hill are making it. Berrios in.
Sure.
Craycraft in.
Okay.
So we've got what?
You're not cutting Cedric Wilson either. You're not cutting Cedric Wilson either.
If you don't cut Cedric Wilson, there's 5. Ezukama, 4th round pick last year. That's a hard L to take when you only had 4 draft picks. There's 6. And then who's off the top of my head, who's even left, right?
Chosen,
Braylon Sanders.
I don't think Chosen is
tough.
a given as much as you guys make him out to be because they're running around in shorts right now. But we'll see because
it's really early in the process. But you can't deny the plays that he's making downfield. That's why, I say he's leading this process right now. But we got to see. Talent's never been his problem. It's been sustained.
I heard the same thing with Albert Wilson a couple years ago, and I kept laughing that off and kept telling everybody that ain't. And sure enough, he was gone. We'll see because maybe somebody gets hurt. But right now, you've got 7. And so you've got, if you're going to even go, and by the way, you got 7. You say you're going to keep 6. Well, hold on a second. What's going on with getting Higgy with it? What if getting Higgy with it all of a sudden is looking good or the other kid, Tanner Connor? And that's an experiment that I keep telling everybody. That's the offline tight end that they're trying to develop. And if one of those guys develops, it takes away from one of your receivers because you've got all your blocking tight ends as it is. So maybe that might take away from that 6th spot at wide receiver. You might say, this is a luxury that we don't need.
It's going to, and you're going to have to borrow. You got to borrow from somewhere, right? I think it's going to be tough. It's so early to be doing 53 projections. I think we do one right before training camp and then at the very end of training camp. So, got a week to still try to figure it out, a week's worth of practices to try to figure out a projection, but it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight right now. Keeping 7 receivers, like you say, it's a luxury. It's a luxury I'm not positive they can afford.
No, they can't. No. They want
like talent.
I can see them going 6, but then that's where things kind of get a little hairy for them. Now, obviously, unfortunately, injuries are kind of part of this damn game. So it's good to be that deep also at the same time.
So here's the thing, though. If it's between Ezukama and Chosen for the 6th spot, if you can trust one of those guys on the field and you can't trust the other, that was the problem with Ezukama last year. It wasn't talent. It was they couldn't trust him on the field. If he hasn't developed past that, like if he hasn't grown past that, 4th round pick or not, like it's kind of a hard. It's hard to justify. So like we'll have to see because he was a great practice player. He's a great training camp player last year. It's one of those, like, I think it'll come down to preseason games and, real live situations.
Those are the kind of guys that are going to get a ton of preseason action right there. And it's a question you really can't answer right now, Marcel. It's unfair to you. It's unfair to any of us. We have to let this thing play out and see a month and a half or 2 months from now at the end of August. Then we'll find out where we're at with Chosen and where we're at with Ezukama. And then we're going to say, okay, which one's the last cut out of those 2? And then because we'll have a better feel for both guys at that point, and we'll find out if Ezukama has grown from those moments from training camp where he was outstanding, but it didn't translate to on the field. By the way, Braylon Sanders also played pretty well too. And then the few times he was used, it didn't show up. It didn't register, unfortunately. So that happens with young guys, man.
Yeah, he's made some plays downfield throughout OTAs that we've seen. Braylon made some plays.
Braylon's got some talent, man. He's an intriguing one that they've got on this roster. There's no doubt about it. I'm hoping. I want to see if the Cameron Good kid, no pads on right now, so you're not going to get a feel. But once the pads go on, I'd like to see if Cameron Good got a little better than last year because that's another guy that kind of flashed at times. I was like, this guy might have a little some to him.
With no, I was going to say there's an open spot with Melvin Ingram not back, but they did bring in Malik Reed, who will essentially fill that role, fill that position. We'll see where he's at. We'll see where he's at. I think you're going to see a pretty heavy rotation of pass rushers here. They've got a relatively deep core. You know, they go 4 deep in terms of pass rushers. So maybe there's a spot for him here.
All right, what do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
Gonna have reports from mandatory mini camp this week. Hopefully we'll get not hopefully, but we'll get a little more accurate look at, where guys are at now that it's a month into the off-season program. But that's about it. And then we're diving into the quiet season, the slow times, June 9th to July, I want to say 25th, 26th is usually when training camp starts, where there are no updates. There's nothing new. That's vacation time. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully y'all can do the same. And then we'll meet right back up end of July and get this thing kicking off.
There you go. All right. Good stuff. As always, follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Marcel, have a fantastic week, my friend. We will catch up later on in the week. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You do the same, man.
Appreciate you. There you go. Marcel, Louis Jacques, and Welt and Rayom. That is our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins and NFL report.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis-Jacques. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. When sports and business collide, we like doing something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. You know what happens today in Buffalo? They will break ground on a new stadium at Orchard Park. It'll be right across the street from the old stadium. And so today the agreement is set in. Groundbreaking ceremonies is going on. It went on this morning. Commissioner Roger Goodell, all kinds of stuff. The Erie County legislator gave final approval for this team stadium plans in early May. The price tag for the construction of the building is $1.4 billion. Okay. With costs being picked up by the state, Erie County, and from the Bills and the NFL. And by the way, out of that money, $850 million comes from the taxpayers, which is absolutely ridiculous. But the other thing, and where this is bad business, and it's just a stupid move by, this is what we do in our world. All right. We do stupid things, right? We build the turnpike extension over here by my home, but you don't build a ramp to get on the turnpike north. So the 836 extension, which crosses over the turnpike. So when you're coming east on it, you can't get on the turnpike. How stupid is that? But that's the kind of shit that we do in this world. So the Bills are building an open air stadium in Buffalo. How anybody would do that up north when you have an opportunity now to learn from all your mistakes is beyond me. And before any of you buttholes in Buffalo get all bent out of shape, the reason why I say you should have a dome is because during the week when it's snowing like crazy in Buffalo, leading up to the game, you should have a dome. So that way, no snow is getting inside. And then a half hour, an hour prior to game time, you open up the roof and let the elements in the snow, and then you deal with it at that point. But the stupidest thing in the world is to allow your stadium to build up with 10 feet of snow, where then you have to, shovel it all out. Plus, it's doing damage or whatever, anything to your facility at the same time. So why let it take all that wear and tear? Plus, with the dome, you will be able to hold all kinds of events in the winter. Football, let it be played in the open air. But during the week, save yourself all that misery, dude. Keep your stadium fresh inside. People can work, move around. Ground crew can fix things, do things all week long. They don't have to worry about the elements. And then when it comes, retractable roof. An hour before the game, you open it up. You let the cold air in. If it's snowing, fine. It's not going to snow enough that the place is going to be full of 10 feet. It's not going to happen. So you'll be fine. But if you have it there for weeks and days on in leading up to a game, of course it's going to be full of snow. And then you've got to go and hire people and hope that others volunteer to help you shovel out all that crap from the stadium. Stupid. It's moronic. It's idiotic. It's asinine. It's bad business. So if you're going to build it right, dude. Build it with a stupid roof so at least you're protected for leading up to the game. Then you can let all the elements in. And by the way, if you put a roof, you can actually hold other events there, even in bad weather. Wow, what a concept. You mean the concert can still go on even though it's raining and snowing outside? Yeah, it can. Well, that's fantastic. You mean the dog show can go on even though it's raining or snowing out? Yeah, all right, that's fantastic. Wine and food festival, I don't know, whatever the hell you want to have inside the stadium. But you can have it no matter what the weather is. And if it's beautiful, you open up the roof and you have your event at the stadium, whatever it might be. I just don't get it. Just like I don't understand. Listen, folks, if you haven't filed your taxes, you're getting a little nervous, why don't you have KSDT, represent you? They'll get you the extension. They'll help you out. Use that QR code there, whether it's home or business. And folks, remember, they're hiring a whole bunch of IRS agents. Okay? Like it's $80 billion worth of IRS agents. Oh, but don't worry. The Republicans knocked off $1.4 billion of the $80 billion. Yeah, they really made some damage there. Anyways, they're hiring a whole bunch of IRS agents because they're going after people that have not paid their taxes. So if you have some back taxes and you owe and you're worried about it, you should be. Call our friends at KSDT CPA so they can take those worries away. They can help you. They can guide you. They can set you up. Use that QR code, folks. Take care of that right away. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. Knight sends in a super chat, and he says, it looks like a toilet. You guys are awesome. Just want to tell you, you all are just awesome. Just want to see if what's going on with the markets here. See if there's any more lower movement, so we can take advantage of it. What do we have here? 2 a time. Thank you, sir. He says, he sends in some super chats, and he says, let's get to some real talk. WWE Raw tonight, Seth freaking Rollins versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight title should be an easy pick. Okay. By the way, did I win last week? What happened last week? You guys made me make some picks. What happened last week? I need to know. Inquiring minds want to know, man. What happened? Why'd you bring up Blue Oyster Cult, King Short? I don't get that one. Godzilla? What are we talking about? I don't know. You got me on that one. All right, so Seth freaking Rollins versus Damian Priest. Well, listen, I'm a big Judas Priest fan. So I'm going to say that I'm going to scream for vengeance here, and that Damian Priest is going to crush Seth freaking Rollins. Okay? That's kind of the way I got to lean, bro. I got to go. He's going to bring the electric eye, and he's just, we're all going to stand united, and we're going to celebrate the victory of Damian Priest. Okay? That's it. That's all I can tell you. That's all I got for you. Damian Priest is your winner. Screaming for vengeance. That's what it's all about. Sean, wow, Sean's giving me the thumbs down. Tua time, by the way, predicted that Sean would give me the thumbs down. So I definitely got it. Plus, he's showing his Heat hat. You know that $5 trucker's hat that you buy at the gas station? Yeah, that Heat hat. Tua time says, I think you lost, though. I have no idea if I did or not. Oh, man. Table jumping, all too extreme. That's what they should have at the Bills Stadium, a table jumping convention. The design on that Buffalo Stadium looks like the top of a toilet. No joke. Check it out. No, I saw it. I know I was laughing because it does kind of remind you of a toilet. Seth is over right now. He ain't losing, oh. Okay. All right. We'll see. You just never know. You shouldn't go up against the Priest. Frankie is the AEW fan too. Too extreme. I'm the WWE fan. That's what Tua Time says. Thought the Bills were moving to Texas. Hey, I thought Jordan Poyer was coming here also. By the way, when's that Cook trade happening to the Dolphins? For all you guys that send me in the Dalvin Cook trade, when's that Dalvin Cook trade happening to the Dolphins? I must have missed that Dalvin Cook trade to the Dolphins. Damn. That shit looked like it was just about to happen too, huh? I mean, it must have been so close, right? So close. Oh, man. Let's see what we got going on. So Bitcoin under 27 right now. Not bad. Not bad. I like it. Big O, don't know if you've been watching the Marlins, but this kid, Arrays, Arnaldo, do you listen to the show? I've been talking about Arrays since they traded for him, that I love the kid they got from Minnesota, that I love that trade. Yeah, man, he's a 300-plus hitter. He was hitting 400 for a certain amount of time. I'm more excited about the Yuri Perez kid that they brought up. He's done well. Arrays has done what he normally does. He's a stroker, bro. That guy was tearing it up in Minnesota. I praised that trade over and over and over again. I mentioned it over. Trading for the Minnesota kid was awesome. That I wish they could do that since they don't have money. They have to use arms. Since they have extra arms in their system, they can use those arms in order to get a bat. And I was hoping that they could get another bat because it's what I thought they needed. I still think they need. But they have done all right so far, man. I mean, they're What are they? 4 games above 500 right now, right? Yeah, 32-28. That's amazing for them. So yeah, no, Reyes is a guy that I knew about for sure. And I'm not really shocked. But the Perez kid, that's the one that, like, you want to watch Sandy pitch. And I know Sandy hasn't pitched well. But this Perez kid, man, since they brought him up, he looks like the real deal. And I love how they're, not overloading him early on, too, and they're building him up also, which that's magnificent how they're handling that, too, at the same time. But the Yuri Perez kid, that's the guy that I'm very intrigued with the Marlins. I know we don't talk Marlins, and I know people don't give a shit about the Marlins, and I know in the end they're really not going anywhere. Probably. It's really nice right now, first 2 months of the season, but eventually all this stuff will catch up to them. But they've done a nice job. And at least, one thing I like about this Marlins team right now, they win most of the games they're supposed to win. When they play the crappy teams, they beat the crappy teams. Now, they do struggle against the ones that are better than them, which is normal, but at least they're not losing to these teams that they're not supposed to lose to, like the A's. Like the Royals coming up now, like the Nationals. When you play those teams, take care of business, and they've done that. I'm really proud of the Marlins in that sense. I know deep down inside they don't have enough, so eventually they're going to run out of gas, but we'll see. Pat in Nashville says, a source in my NA meeting group says the Dalvin Cook deal is going down tonight in Opelika at midnight. Oh, will the Marlins be buyers or sellers? Troy, if they can sell players for a player, like a minor leaguers, then yeah, they can be buyers. They're not going to be this kind of buyer. They don't have the money. So if there's a salary somebody's trying to unload of a good player, they're not going to be able to acquire him because they haven't proven that they're willing to raise payroll. Who's a bigger hypocrite? Antonio Brown offering Marshall or marital advice, or George Santos recently trashing the rainbow flag? Did George Santos really trash the rainbow flag? The guy that dresses in drag? The guy that is probably part of the LGBT community, but what is he's trying to endear himself to conservatives? I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of a joke. I mean, seriously. Come on. And by the way, what is this with the hate with the LGBT community? Can we just leave them alone? They are human beings like everybody else, right? And like, why should you give a shit if somebody likes someone in their own sex? That doesn't bother. As long as you're not hurting human beings or kids, what do you care? I don't understand this. I really don't understand this. This is the part that sucks about people pushing their values on you, whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whatever it is. And then they want you to follow them because that's what they believe in. And it's great for whatever you believe in. More power to you, man. God bless you. But don't force it on somebody else, whatever it is. Sad, man. If he really did that, that's pretty pathetic. Because that's clearly the dude that was in drag. I mean, it's him. You can see it. You can tell. So it's kind of weird that a guy like that would be crapping on his own people. That doesn't make any sense. So I didn't know that he did. If he really did that, that's sad, dude. Claims many new coin securities, including Polygon. Claims many? What was going on? Oh, SEC sues Binance. Oh, that's what is going on? Whatever, bro. Eventually all of this will come to an end. But hey, man, if they want to create more FUD and lower prices for me, more power to you. All I know is crypto will be around a lot longer and Bitcoin than Gary Gensler and all those people, and they'll all be voted out. All those people will be voted out. It's coming. So whether you like it or not, young people are going to vote all of these, people that are not changing with the times, whether we're talking about cryptocurrencies, whether you're forcing, your religious beliefs on young people with the abortion rule or whatever. All these young people are going to vote all of these people out. You'll see. It's going to happen. So I'm not worried about the Bitcoin stuff and the crypto stuff and what the SEC does and all of that, because by the time I'm looking to cash in next year or the year after, all of these people will be weeded out. That's all. That's what's going to end up happening. And the rest of the world is going to get way ahead of us on the metaverse, on Web3, on blockchain technology, on Bitcoin and crypto, and we're going to be behind. So, but that's all right, man. Young people will end up taking care of all of this and washing it all away. That's what just don't understand, but that's all right. It's all good. Louder for the people in the back. Live and let live. Yeah, exactly. It's like that conservative guy sent me, we need more God in the no, dude. No, that's for you. Now, don't push it on everybody else, because not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants to be a Democrat. Not everybody wants to be a Republican. Not everybody wants to be a Trumpy. Leave people alone, bro. Let them, don't try to force them into your way of thinking. Look at what Joe Carroyo was doing to Ball and Chain. That's politicizing your power right there. And Ball and Chain took crazy Joe Carroyo to the cleaners. That's the kind of stuff that, because you don't agree with me, so now I'm going to use my power to try to, what like DeSantis is doing on Disney. That we can't have that. We can't have that. Okay? People have to be able to disagree. People have to be able to like whatever they like. Brother, as long as you're not hurting human beings or kids, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's like what I was talking about with Marcel. If you're the guy that wants to go smoke a blunt at the end of the day, God bless you, man. If you're the guy who wants to have a whiskey or two, God bless you. That's your right. But don't try to force what you like to have, what you like to relax with, force it on somebody else. No, man. Let everybody do what they. Isn't this America? That's what I thought it was, right? We're supposed to have our own opinions. We're supposed to have our own beliefs, whatever it is. But we're also tied into trying to join our group, be a part of us. You're wrong if you're on that side. You're wrong if you're on this side or whatever. It's terrible, man. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Big O, we can't sign Cook until we sign Brady, Debo, Poyer, and D. Hopkins. That's it. And they're all about to sign. Hey, any more reports about Brady hanging around waiting for Tua to fail or get injured? Is he coming out of retirement also? More because he might as well. Nyborg brought it up. We might as well bring it up. What happened to all those Brady reports too? Still more Brady reports? All those people that you listen to or you follow that told you Jordan Poyer was going to happen, or that Dalvin Cook was going to get traded to Miami, or that Tua was going to get traded wherever. Pick your city. Have fun. Pick whatever city you want. Or that they're looking to trade for Lamar Jackson. The question I have for you is, why would you take their word for it when I'm sure a lot of those people did multiple screw-ups and to be completely off? I know we are going to make some mistakes, but the people that are doing it are usually people that never break a story in the first place. So why would they start breaking stories now? What you're going to do is run into somebody that guessed the right way.
Anyway. Diego says, agree, Big O. I don't care what they do. I respect them, their feelings, and their preferences. However, what is being imposed on our children is what I do not agree with. That's also being blown out of proportion, and some of you are also falling for, you're getting suckered for a lot of that stuff. There are no transvestites teaching your kids, bro. You know what I mean? I hear people saying that all the time, and it's just stupidest thing in the world, but whatever. Again, you're on one side and you get suckered by the one side or whatever, so that's kind of silly shit that I hear all the time. Brady only needs 24 votes to play for the Raiders when Jimmy's foot is not ready. There you go. And Stephen Ross already voted for it. Shocking, hateful Steve didn't give a super chat bashing the Heat. Yeah, it was amazing that hateful Steve did not send in something. Well, because the Heat won, so he has nothing to complain about. But there is nobody like hateful Steve. Yeah, that is amazing. And remember, and we thank hateful Steve. You can also make a donation at any time, day or night, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. You can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of stuff on Cash App or Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show. And remember, you can make a Bitcoin donation. All right? Nothing wrong with the little Bitcoin donation. Where is Bitcoin right now? Ooh, under 26. Woo! I like it. Oh, what's this? Hip Hop 50 Live, presented by Ciroc and Google Pixel. In the Bronx, where it all started, featuring Run DMC, Snoop Dogg, Lil Wayne, Ice Cube, with surprise guests, Queen of Hip Hop set, Eve, Lil Kim, Remy Ma, Trina, more to come, it says. Performing live, T.I., Fat Joe, Common, ASAP Ferg, EPMD, Ghostface Killah, Lupe Fiasco, Slick Rick, Pillars of Hip Hop set, DJ Kool Herc and Cindy Campbell, Grandmaster Kaz, Curtis Blow, Melly Mel, Roxanne Shanti, Scorpio, Sugar Hill Gang. Legendary DJ sets by Battle Cat, Clark Kent, Minnie Fresh, and Marley Marr. This is August 11th at Yankee Stadium. Doors open at 4:30. Holy shit. And I'll be in Montreal seeing Metallica. Damn. Damn. Maybe I should reschedule Metallica. Oh, shit. Wow. That is good, dude. That is good. That is good. That's a hell of a lineup, man. I had no idea that was going there. Wow. Big O, with all due respect, have you seen some of the books in grade school? It is real. Just saying, my child would not be able to. It's not real, bro. It's not real. Okay? Books have been there forever, all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? There are no transvestites teaching your kids, bro. All right? There just aren't. That's just not true. Those are all lies. Those are exaggerated so you guys can overreact and all that kind of stuff. And what they're doing with the books thing is they're taking it to extremes, and they're taking out all kinds of stuff that doesn't need to be taken out. Brother, when I was a kid, we'd go to go find, what's that magazine, so we can see some titties. What is it? National Geographic. You know what I mean? And it was there wide open. Big deal. You know? So it's not the end of the world. And life has changed. I know that they showed a book about somebody that had two fathers. Well, that's life nowadays. There are kids that grow up that have two moms and two fathers. What are you going to do? It's not something that I grew up with, because my generation was different. Back then it wasn't as open, but it is now. It's part of life. What are you going to do? Hide it? Taboo? I mean, it's kind of, it gets to, they only use that as an extreme, as a tool to wipe out all kinds of other things that they don't have to wipe out. Okay? We had a lot of stuff in our day, and we turned out normal. It's all a bunch of BS. Again, it's stuff that they don't put up for votes. They force it down people's throats because that portion of politics is controlling the government. That's all it is. So it's not, there aren't enough of that stuff to make you freak out. Too many of you are making a mountain out of a monster molehill. So, what's it called? What else do we have here? What do we have? You see anything earth-shattering sports-wise, Sean? Because I don't see anything out there, breaking news or anything. I think we're kosher. I think everything's good right now. Let's see. Oh wow, did you guys see Ozuna? Now this is, remember, we talk about all the things that have happened here and all the players that have been, traded away, and we're constantly disappointed that they don't keep, some of these guys around. Marcel Ozuna was the one trade that, boy, by the way, isn't the Ozuna trade the one that brought Sandy? It wasn't the Yelich trade, right, Sean? It was the Ozuna trade, I want to say, that brought Sandy. I want to say that, but either way, see what happened to Ozuna the other day? So the Braves designated hitter, Marcel Ozuna, was removed from Sunday's game for not hustling after hitting a drive to deep center field. In the fourth inning of an 8-5 Braves victory over Diamondbacks, Ozuna smashed a Zach Gallen offering to deep center that would have been a home run in 26 of 30 major league ballparks. However, it was only a 400-foot single as Ozuna stood at home plate admiring his work as the ball caromed off the center field wall. Ozuna, 32, was placed at DH by Sean Murphy, who was replaced as DH by Sean Murphy, who went 0 for 3 in his place. The two-time All-Star Ozuna is hitting .227 with 11 home runs and 23 RBIs in 44 games this season. In 11 seasons with the Miami Marlins, St. Louis Cardinals, and Braves, Ozuna is a .267 hitter, 207 home runs, 699 RBIs in 1,207 games. And, of course, he's had all the other issues off the field, too. But you think about that, where this guy was with us when Miami with Yelich and Stanton, you had one of the best outfields in all of baseball. And we thought, wow, man, they lost this entire outfield. And you think about it, Stanton wasn't worth the money, okay? And Ozuna was not going to be worth the money. So really, in hindsight, years later, the only guy you really wanted to keep out of the three was actually the most friendly contract out of all of them, which was Yelich.
So what are you going to do? Big O, do you think everyone will show up for mandatory? Of course they will. Why wouldn't they, King Short? What do you got, Sean?
Yes, it was that trade.
It was, right? Yeah. So think about that, man. Sometimes, it sucks that it happens, but it turns out that the cheapness actually brought something better to the table, right? You got rid of that Stanton deal, and then you got rid of Ozuna, who turned out to be an absolute low-class bum, dude. Yelich was the only guy that we can, be bitter about that you lost if you want. That's about it. So that's absolutely just trippy on all of that. We thank Alan Poupart. We thank Marcel Louis Jacques, as always. Thank you to all out there that sent the super chats in. Always appreciate that. Those of you that donated through Cash App or Venmo, since we get 100% donation there, thank you all. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. You can make a donation at any time when you're listening to the podcast. Always appreciate it. Remember, if your business wants to join our platform, you can call our business line at 786-754-4664. Great for getting new customers, branding, and of course, you have from statewide, nationally, and internationally, you can reach all kinds of customers too. 786-754-4664. We shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
Your home for everything Heat.
They stand eye to eye with history, and they did not blink. The Heat are going to the NBA Finals.
Panthers.
The Florida Panthers are heading to the Stanley Cup Finals.
The Big O Radio Show goes deep on playoff coverage.
We don't care what the rest of the world is saying. We don't care who's criticizing who. You got to line up between these four lines, and let's figure this out.
The Big O Radio Show.